opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Well, the Bruins are now 5-2 under interim head coach Joe Sacco after a win over Detroit last night, 3-2 in overtime at TD Garden. Pavel Zacha scored the game winner, 2:15 into overtime after Justin Brazeau tied it with 10:28 left in regulation. The Bruins play again tonight in Chicago, and Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Celtics had last night off. They play Detroit at the Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 over on 105.7 WROR. Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday are both listed as questionable. Also, Tatum yesterday was voted the Eastern Conference's Player of the Month for November. The Patriots are missing linebacker Jelani Tabai and left tackle Verdarian Lowe at their lone bye-week practice yesterday. The team is now off until Monday. Also, they have released offensive lineman Michael Jordan again, this time from the practice squad. The Red Sox assigned Pittsburgh free agent closer Aroldis Chapman to a one-year $10.75 million contract. Also, The Athletic is reporting the top free agent Juan Soto has begun to eliminate teams as he nears a decision. All of the franchises involved have a bid in north of $600 million, and the Red Sox are believed to be one of the 5 finalists. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, now open in Weymouth, Canton, Bedford, and Natick. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Fred, hello. 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 Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Open him up with a football.
98.5. The Hub.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
I love you, and I think you know that.
That's beautiful.
Thank
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios. You can watch us on YouTube, and there's a chat going on, and there's some people quite rude, according to what I've been hearing. Just search 98.5 The Sports Hub and then subscribe. That's what you do next. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 617-779-0985. A big show on the way today. We have Bird coming in along with Tyler Milliken. They will both be in studio starting at 7:40 as we have, in honor of college bowl season, something for them. And something that... Because if you listen to national sports talk radio, everyone's talking about the college football rankings, and it was a very good idea to expand it to 12 because it is fun.
Very controversial last night.
But the thing is that like it is what it is. There's not, I wouldn't be going crazy if I went to Mississippi and they said you're not in the college football playoff as a 12 seed. Because you are better than Indiana and Notre Dame and Penn State probably and Arizona State. But, I mean, if I'm from the University of Mississippi, I'm probably thinking, It will be funny when the Boise State has to play a school or SMU has to play a real school.
Yeah, Boise State will have a home game against Ohio State or Alabama or something, and they'll get rolled.
Well, no, as it stands now, SMU would play Alabama because
Right.
Alabama's going to beat Notre Dame by 1 million.
But my point is they'll have to play one of those schools that is routinely in the top 10 and just happened to slip this year.
Yeah.
And they'll go to Boise State, and it'll be fun for about 10 minutes. And then the really good team's going to win by 3 touchdowns. And all the fun is over.
The thing is that's the way it stands now, though, is Boise State would play the winner of Arizona State, Penn State, and I'm not positive Boise State couldn't win that game.
You think
at
Boise
home.
State could be Penn State?
I don't think Penn State's good. I don't think Penn State's very good. It's just where they were ranked at the beginning of the season. I mean, Penn State looked bad against Ohio State. I mean, defensively they looked good, but they looked really bad. They had the ball, at the goal line and couldn't convert. They had every opportunity to win that game, and they couldn't do it. And Ohio State lost embarrassingly to Michigan at home. So I don't think the Big Ten's very good at all. Ohio State was supposed to be really good.
I just think the quality of athlete that goes to that school is far superior than the quality of athlete that wound up at Boise State.
Sure, but I mean,
And that
TCU
alone-
beat Michigan when it was a 4-team playoff. Remember? TCU beat Michigan. So,
TCU, I would say, also gets better athletes than Boise State.
Maybe. Boise State's a pretty good program.
Well, they have been relevant for years. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, like it's not a joke program. I mean, Penn State's obviously a bellwether program, but Boise State is not a joke.
No, but they're clearly the next step down from everyone they're going to face. That was my only point.
No, it is. Yeah, but not totally. Not like I think an SMU would be. But who knows? SMU is the Dallas school, and maybe they have a lot going on.
SMU, you have a good point. I watched SMU play Boston College, and I was completely unimpressed. Really. And they beat BC that day, but I was really unimpressed with SMU.
Yeah, and Indiana is an interesting situation because they very well could get killed by any team that they play, as they are a 10th seed now. And the only team they really played was Ohio State, who killed them.
No, but it generates more to the point where you started this. It generates more interest, and you and I both like college football, which makes us aliens in this area of the country. But I honestly, if you're arguing about whether or not you're the 12th best team in the country, that's a far better argument than arguing if you belong in the top 4. You know what I'm saying? That's for the NCAA. No one really cares that much. Oh, well, you know what? We're 12th. We should be in there as opposed to, we're top 5.
Yeah, there are 10 teams, or there are probably 6 or 8 teams that could argue they deserve a spot in 10 through 12. When there's really only a couple when you're talking about if they deserve in the top 4 that aren't already in there.
Sure.
Yeah, the top 4 you can get right. That's the thing, is that there's been years where there wasn't a whole lot of argument about the top 4.
Yeah.
The top 12, there's always going to be argument, and it's a very low-stakes argument. Because the 12th seed, I mean, who really cares? Even though the 12th seed could go to the semifinals based on how it's currently lined up.
The only argument would be Miami, who was ranked for, top 10 for most of the season, and then suffered a horrifically bad loss last weekend, and now they're out.
Yeah, you can't lose late in the season.
Yeah.
That's just the thing.
They're out.
Hey, don't sleep on Army. Only one loss. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, Notre Dame finally ran into that juggernaut that is Army.
Army has gone from being a ranked team to probably playing Boston College
Boston
in a bowl
College,
game.
that's right.
They're still ranked, by the way.
Yeah.
And they have beat Lehigh, Florida Atlantic, Rice, Temple, Tulsa, University of Alabama, Birmingham, East Carolina, Air Force, North Texas, and then they lost to Notre Dame 49-14. But then they turned around and beat University of Texas San Antonio by 5.
So it was 2 years ago, the big Army-Navy game at Gillette Stadium. I wasn't on the show yet, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you guys bask in the Army victory?
No.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Should we have? Did we miss something?
Yeah, because Belichick was up there wearing his Navy stuff.
Well,
and
we
he was
basked in the glow of that college game day.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, but just seeing it not go according to script, and all the bandwagon Navy fans. I don't want to say who specifically, Zoe, who doesn't care about military football, but since Belichick is a Navy guy, Navy, and he's wearing the Navy stuff, go Navy, and then watching that game play out. It doesn't matter. Neither one of them are real football programs. Stop it.
Yeah, I would have liked it. If I would have known that, I would have been rooting for Army too.
But all you had to do was look around Gillette Stadium and say, "Oh man, it was."
Well, I had no desire to go to that game. I mean, I don't. I've never watched it on TV. I mean, I understand the tradition of it, and I don't begrudge it, but I had no desire to go.
The actual game day experience, and I wasn't there either. I was watching it.
Yeah,
But
a lot of running of the football.
It's really really cool how the crowd gets into it and all that stuff. But at the last moment, seemingly, people are like, "Yeah, Navy's the best. Navy the best." A, what do you know? And B, are they? Because apparently not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Belichick. It came up on my timeline. Belichick was on the Pat McAfee show. I know why it came up on my timeline, because he was talking about how he was undefeated without any losses with the Jets as the Jets coach. But Pat McAfee introduces him spastically as the greatest coach of all time. And then Pat McAfee is sitting down, but then like a 4-year-old girl, he sits on his feet. Like he pulls his feet onto the chair.
Kind of Bert Breer style.
Yeah. It just he and then he gets up and sits on his legs. That's like what my daughter stopped doing that when she was 7. Just sit with your feet on the ground. Sit down. Stop spazzing out.
No, too excited.
And what's funny is when they play clips of it, they have to censor the F words. Because he's allowed to swear, but no one else is allowed to swear.
Oh, he can go off, man.
And what's funny about that is all that's going to do is piss people off. Like, no one's going to listen to it, particularly because he can swear. And all it's going to do is make things more difficult. You know, it's content in terms of, what you can do and not get in trouble with the FCC is way more important than being able to say the F word. If I was on satellite, I'd say the F word. But it is just funny to me that ESPN's stuck with stuff that they have to censor now. And then you just go, why are they censoring this? And you're like, oh, they're dropping F-bomb. But, yeah, he gets all spastic and sits on his legs and goes all crazy. Yeah. It's a big thing. All right. Well, what a show on the way today. Zolak and Bertrand heard from someone from DB's Golden Banana.
You know those people well.
Right? I've been to DB's Golden Banana since I've been sober. I've been to DB's Golden Banana as a sober man, and the person I was with was sober, too. We went to DB's Golden Banana and didn't drink. DB's Golden Banana front door guy let us in for free.
Nice.
Recognized me, let us in for free. And then I sat at DB's Golden Banana waiting for a stripper to approach us, and not one stripper approached us on a fairly empty night.
Sorry.
And I was sober and had not been to a strip club in years, and I had a big pocket full of money. I would have gone. I would have really gotten into it. I think
you would have gone ham.
I would have gone VIP room. That I would have done. I've never been to a strip club sober either, so who knows what I would have fallen for?
Yeah.
You know, I would have been super horny. You get me in that room and I'm not drunk. Drunk, I'm just, but if I'm present and into it, Haji Machi would have spent $10,000.
I don't even know where it is.
It's far. It's past Saugus. I know we went because we were at Kowloon.
It's up on Route 1, Artie.
North of the Kowloon or south?
North.
Okay.
It's north of the Kowloon.
Near the Palm Motel? Is that still there?
I think they. You said the Palm, but I'm thinking of the Pines Motel. They took that down. It was close to where that was.
So what happened the night that I went to DB's Golden Banana is that I had gone with my friend to the casino, and then we got to the casino and we said, okay, why are we here? And then I said, I've never been to the Loon. I'm like, can we go to Kowloon? And he was like, let's go to Kowloon. So we go to Kowloon and we eat, and he goes, I want to go to DB's Golden Banana. I go, I don't want to go. I'm sober. And he goes, it's just down the road. And I go, all right, we'll go to DB's Golden Banana.
Okay.
He's like, we're in the area. We got to go. And I'm like, I don't have any moral objection to this. And DB's Golden Banana was nice. It was nice. It just, I was my own, I guess, disheveled, ugly appearance. I turned off all the ladies.
I do like how you fought back. I don't want to go. It's right here. We're going. Okay.
Yeah, I said I didn't want to go once. But then when he said, you didn't have to twist my arm.
Right.
There was a time in Atlanta where I loved strip clubs, but they were different there. I mean, they were all over the place.
Yeah, strip clubs in the South are a touch different.
Yeah,
than strip clubs.
There
up
was
here.
like as many girls there as guys. Like first of all, and second of all, that's how you had to meet women if you worked until midnight. You know, you work until midnight. You go out on a Tuesday night. You're not going to a club. I mean, you go to a strip club, hang out with those girls.
Yeah.
So
And it's not quite just another job, but in towns like Atlanta, certainly in Las Vegas, you meet a lot of people who work there. And they might be bartenders, they might be dancers, and it's a big business, and it's just more commonplace. You just go there and then we go there and hang out sometimes.
if you're in the entertainment industry and you work late into the night, like it's a very tight-knit group of bartenders and service industry people and strippers and stuff in the South.
Yeah.
That's like kind of what it was. And then there was musicians and everything else. It was like a whole other lifestyle.
It's
like,
it's a separate society.
it really is.
Of late night service workers, and they kind of have their own economy, because you might have a really good night, tending bar, and you're going to walk with $800-900 in tips alone. And you know what you do? You go to another bar and you give it all back to the bartender, who was probably in your place the night before, tipping you out, and the money just gets traded around.
Yeah, and Sunday and Monday nights are the big nights, are industry nights, and so and no one tips better than a bartender. So it's just all cash being distributed back and forth.
Right.
And people in the service industry tend to go out like millionaires. Like at least it seems that way when you're in your 20s.
When I was tending bar in college, and I had never had as much, cash on me as a young person as I did then, and the best nights to work. In fact, the probably the most money I made per hour of work ever was when they brought me back in. I had left Houlihan's, but for their Christmas party, they had it right there at the bar and restaurant, right? Just a night for everybody to come in and eat and drink and party and have sex with each other, because that's what you did.
Sure.
And they would always hire an ex-bartender, somebody who knew the bar and somebody who knew the people, to come in. They didn't want somebody currently working there because they couldn't party. So they said, hey, do you want to come back and work the Christmas party? Sure. And the deal was I was only supposed to serve well drinks and tap beer. And that lasts for about an hour. And then one of the managers says, no, it's okay. We need a couple of top shelf items, or open up a couple of bottles. And they're all tipping on every round. And it's always, this is early mid-90s. So like a $5 tip on one drink was a lot.
So what'd you
And
clear?
I walked that night with $700.
Jesus.
Probably for, I don't know, I couldn't have been there 4 hours.
Wow.
I mean, that was great money.
Yeah.
It was great money. It was beautiful. Didn't have to ring anything in. Just back there pouring
That's the
drinks.
best thing ever.
Open bar, everybody happy, and everybody in the industry, so they're all tipping like crazy because it was an open bar.
Yeah, and cash seems to go fast. I mean, that seems to easy to spend. All right, so we'll be back. The Bruins played last night. Not the greatest game in the world.
It's okay. It wasn't on a place that you could find.
That second period. Oof.
Yeah, it was really bad. Real bad.
Oh.
Real bad game. But they played, and nonetheless, it wasn't sold out, and I had listeners offering me tickets and everything else. I mean, the Bruins need to start getting it together a little bit. We'll be back in just a moment.
Weekday mornings.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and it's funny. We were continuing the strip club conversation. John was telling me about the upstate New York strip clubs, and I was talking about this girl I knew that worked at this place called the Masters, and then Hardy became very, very interested in what I was saying.
Because you said the word.
Because I said Masters,
Masters.
and he thought I was talking about the 1800s, and he got very excited. No, he thought I was talking about the golf tournament, and then he was very disappointed when I wasn't. He thought I was talking about a girl that worked at the Masters.
Yeah, dating a girl who worked
I didn't say dating, but yes.
at the Masters. And, yeah, I got all excited and worked up. And when I found out it was a strip club, I lost interest. Oh, that's no good.
But in fairness, I didn't pursue it any longer with you. I didn't try to sell you the story. I let it go.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I didn't try to push it.
No.
Once you popped in and expressed interest and then just went, oh, I'm not interested. I didn't push it.
No.
I let it be.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Red Wings visiting the Bruins last night, who have been on a mini heater ever since Joe Sacco took over head coaching duties. And last night in the first period, two teams traded goals. Lucas Raymond and Nikita Zadorov scored about a minute and a half apart from each other, tied it at 1, which led to a lackluster second period, so much so that the analysts on ESPN Plus were lamenting the fact they wouldn't be able to pull any highlights from the second period in that second intermission. I don't know if they did because I kind of lost interest at that point myself. But, oh, boy, we had some goals scored in the third.
Brazo and Pasternak, along with Coyle and Lorai, the five-man unit. Puck comes back to Lorai. Shot, score! Brazo was in front, looked to get the redirect, and the Bruins waste no time. They tie it at 2.
That was after Lucas Raymond had scored just a minute 19 into the third, and at the midway point, Justin Brazo on the power play ties the game, sends it to overtime.
Is Brazo leading the team in goals?
No, Pasternak leads the team in goals.
Okay, because they keep talking about how crappy Pasternak is, and they're like, he's pressing, and I'm like, probably because all you talk about is how crappy he is.
No.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's funny. He's got 9 goals.
Yeah,
and
Pasternak is the leading goal scorer on this team.
Okay.
Yeah. And Marchand's right behind him after not starting well.
Well, Brazo's does have 6 goals, which puts him third or fourth on the team. Fourth, because Coyle's got 7 goals.
And
I'm looking at it.
It's down at the bottom. I was looking at points. That's my fault.
Yeah,
he has only 1 assist, Coyle, so that was the reason I missed it.
I'm looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, so Brazo has 6 now, and who else has 6 now?
DeBrincat goes back behind the Detroit net, and then he goes down. Bruins have it. Pasternak back across. They score! Pavel Zacha one times it into the net. Husso is barking mad at the official. The Bruins win it 3-2 in overtime.
And he should be, because the reason that if they didn't score a goal there, it would have been really bad, because Pasternak just took a guy's legs out, and then
Looked like he was herding sheep.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then the guy couldn't stand up in time, so Pasternak got the puck back to Zacha, and Zacha had complete freedom. There was no one around him.
Yeah, Zacha scored the goal. They won the game.
Yeah, if Zacha doesn't score that goal, you're like, oh my God. Like, at what point are you guys going to score? Like, you got to get someone who knows how to put the puck in the net.
I think it was a brilliant play by Pasternak. It was a goal. They won the game. Fantastic.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that if they didn't score there, it would have been really bad, because they got away with a huge penalty that allowed that goal to happen. If it had gone the other way, the 15 people that were at the game would have been pissed.
Hey, they're 5-2 under Sacco.
Yeah, I wonder why, and believe me, I want them to do well. I wonder, this is just a really stupid question, but why they played 27 games and Tampa Bay's played 23?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, there's not rainouts.
That's as unbalanced as I think New Jersey has 28 games.
Yeah,
I mean, it's there. There is a wide discrepancy at this point in the season for some reason.
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday in New Jersey. I think you did probably too. New Jersey's played 28 games and Tampa Bay's played 23.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair at all. And there was this thing in The Athletic where they do it's another one of these like percentage things, and they do this chance of making the playoffs, and they had the Bruins in the category long shot at 30%. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't put them at 30% to make the playoffs.
They are doing things now they weren't doing before in that they're winning ugly. Usually when the Bruins don't play well, or didn't play well under Montgomery, that was a guaranteed loss. Now, I don't know if they're dragging other teams down to play badly with them, like that was the case in the second period last night, because Detroit's mediocre like they are.
Yeah, Detroit's not good.
But I guess my point is they were playing other mediocre teams before and losing. Now they're playing the mediocre teams and winning. So I think at least that is a step in the right direction. Swayman made a couple of really good saves last night, and maybe he's crawling back to form. I don't know. They're trending upward, I guess, and that's a good sign, if nothing else.
After the game, Zadorov speaking about the start to the game, saying it was slow and sloppy, but there was a specific reason.
So I like it.
Why he wanted to. How dare you?
My steaks.
No sloppy steaks. No sloppy steaks.
Yeah. You got it. Give me the water. Slop them up. Used to be a real piece of ass.
Slick back hair.
Pushback hair.
Pushback hair. Sloppy steaks.
Chicken Alfredo and Monty's.
Since we've gone down this little side road here, can I just share a quick story? My friend who is a photographer and videographer in Los Angeles texted me last night and said, "Hey, I'm shooting a commercial with this guy, Tim Robinson. Have you seen this show before? I'm binging it now. Like, it's pretty funny." Like, he had no idea of the existence of I Think You Should Leave. And I was appalled.
How old is this person?
He's my age.
And he's in the entertainment
he's
industry.
in the entertainment industry.
That's funny because the opposite happened to me. You know when you know about a band, like way before anyone else,
Yeah.
and then everyone gets super into it and it's kind of annoying? I am still a little bit that way, even though I'm in my late 40s. And when they were filming Detroiters, I had a couple of friends. I mean, Detroit's a very small, like they work in the ad industry.
Yeah.
It's a very small community, and they were hiring local actors and local people to be in the Detroiters. And so my friend called me and he said, "Hey, they're filming this show with this guy that used to be on Saturday Night Live. It's really, really funny." And so I saw the Detroiters, and then he told me about I Think You Should Leave, because Tim Robinson used a bunch of people from the Detroiters on that. So he told me about I Think You Should Leave and told me about the receipt with the crap on it skit before the show came out. He was telling me about how they have this big long skit about the guy eating poo.
Wow.
And I was like, that doesn't sound funny at all. And then I watched it. And
It
he
is
was like,
funny.
he was crying laughing when he was telling me about it. And I was like, I've never heard you laugh like this. And there you go. And now here we are. People in LA still haven't heard about it because they're so wrapped up in these comic book films. Eye roll.
What, like Venom that your buddy is in?
Yeah, my big. Listen, you've been out to dinner one more time with him than I have.
Oh.
He's more your friend than mine.
I was shocked to find out, like, because we talked when Esoteric was in about his, relationship with Tom Hardy and how he got to be in the film. And Tom Hardy's like a fan of his music and stuff like that. I think they talk on a daily basis, like every day.
Yeah, the other guy that really likes him is Tom Segura. Because Tom Segura, he likes to put he puts a vinyl album behind him, and he'll do whatever rap group that he likes at the time. He'll put the album behind him, and they've connected in that way.
Nice.
Through the internet.
I just wanted to share with you why Zadorov wanted to play well, particularly last night.
Well, it's different. I mean, obviously, you're playing at home. It's a Regional 6 matchup. It's a divisional matchup. It's an important game for us. We know what we're playing for. So I think it's when you get behind, you want to see a response from the guys, and that's what we showed today.
And I slapped my forehead and said I didn't have my original 6 jacket on watching that game last night.
Nothing. Zadorov has an acute sense of NHL history.
You should have gone to the game and just leaned against the wall and waited for people to ask you.
But you had to wear to really drive it home. You had to wear those hats that they wore for the 100th anniversary, those Kangol deals. You got to wear one of those.
No, he just wears the jacket with the collar popped up and leans against the wall and just waits for people to ask questions
with pushback hair.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, that original 6 jacket. Who's asking?"
Yeah. Yeah, what about it?
What about it?
It's got all 6 team logos on the back.
Ask me them. I can't see them. Ask me them. I'll tell you. The answer's on the back.
I'll rattle them off. I won't even look. How could I look? It's behind me.
If I was blind, I could tell you just by feel. I could just trace the mascot.
Oh, that's a Leaf. Yeah.
That's Toronto.
That's an indigenous person. Yeah, there we got one.
That's what you should have done. But it is a big-time Original Six match.
So you want to go through this NBA Cup elimination fiasco last night? Because leading into it, I was listening to Felger and Maz yesterday.
They tried to explain it?
Yeah, and I really don't want to goof on him for it. I was going to ask Ryan to pull it because it was in the 5 o'clock hour yesterday when, or just before 5 o'clock when Felger had obviously, set aside some time to talk NBA Cup and how the Celtics could still get in. And I'm 99% certain he said, without any objection, that if Orlando or the Knicks won, either team won by 7 points last night.
That's not true.
The Celtics would be in.
That's not true.
Or the 37-point spread in the whatever game.
The Knicks had to beat Orlando by 37 or more, or Orlando just had to beat the Knicks straight up.
Okay. That was Knicks and Orlando, but there was another game.
Milwaukee-Detroit.
There
had to be a spread of 5 or more either way.
And did that work out?
Yes, it did. Milwaukee blew out Detroit, but the Knicks beat Orlando by less than 37.
So both had to happen. Okay, all right. So
if Orlando had won last night, it wouldn't have mattered in the other game. I'm not sure. I have to look.
Okay,
so suffice
again,
it to say, the Celtics are out of this tournament.
Yes. They're out of it, and Felger's point was, well, it gives you reason to watch in the midseason, and they're just doing it for the money. But what do I care if it gives it a little extra juice to it? And I understood his point, and I agree with large portions of it, especially when he made the golf metaphor. If I'm playing golf, I want to be playing for something.
Sure.
Even if it's just a $2 Nassau, I want to play for something.
Yeah.
Give me something on the line.
Yeah, give a little heat.
A little
juice.
Yeah, not enough to make it hurt. Let's keep it friendly, but you're going to be in your pocket.
Right, exactly. Like we're going to be exchanging goods and services.
Venmo, it's a great thing.
Yeah, hand or mouth, you choose.
Yeah, but
double down, hand to mouth.
But he kept insisting that he really didn't care. And I said, that is my point all along. I don't care. I don't care who wins it. I don't care who loses it. I don't care that the Celtics are out. I do not care.
Who won it last year?
Don't know, don't
LA.
care.
That's correct.
And I don't even like the NBA.
The Lakers beat Indiana last year. Yep, in the championship game. The NBA got what it wanted. By and large, most people don't care around here, but I'm sure there's increased interest among
the deal.
Teams that aren't playing well. 6 of the 8 teams in the quarterfinals this year are different.
And LeBron James tried last year, and he played full games in the beginning of the NBA season, which is, I don't know how they get him to do it and what they offered him, but they somehow twisted his arm to care. I don't think that was by accident. I don't think that it was just like he wanted to be the first guy to win it. There was some agreement with LeBron James because he pushed himself, and that's how the Lakers won.
And that's the other thing. The other fallout of this is you get NBA players to care about games in November and December.
Right.
Because, as I said, both teams that were in the championship game last year didn't make the quarterfinals this year. You get different teams involved, different players involved.
Yeah.
Everybody cares.
And if you like fourth quarter offense, look no further than last night. I don't even know if the Cavaliers were playing in one of those games, but they scored 32 points in the fourth quarter.
No, and that's the thing. The Cavaliers and the Celtics have the 2 best records in the NBA. Neither team made the quarterfinals this year.
Yeah, they beat the Wizards by a math I can't do. 31.
Yeah.
They beat them by 31 points.
Yeah, and the
and
Knicks,
they outscored them by 12 in the fourth quarter, so they were really just hammering them.
Yeah.
So
the Knicks,
I don't know if that was because they had a funky court, so I'm guessing they were playing in that tournament.
Everyone had funky courts last night.
Okay.
Last night was the final night of pool play.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't like. It's funny because I don't care, but I don't care to the point where it doesn't bother me at all. None of this bothers me. I think I truly don't care because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me. I get why they're doing it.
Your apathy and my apathy speaks to how I think this is It's not a huge failure where everybody hates it, but it's not doing the job. You should feel one way or the other about it, and I don't. The one thing that I thought was compelling about it, and Felger brought it up yesterday, we talked about it yesterday specifically with regard to a guy like Luke Cornett, and if they made a bunch of money, how that would impact them. Someone emailed me and you, Fred, T. Gallagher, who said, you guys were talking about Cornett and the money. He was asked about money that he made for the NBA championship last year. It's kind of a longish answer here, but it's worth it. I wanted to play it for you.
Luke, last year before the in-season tournament, you said if you guys won, you'd pay your mortgage off. So with the playoff bonus, did you get to pay off your mortgage?
There's times where you have to start looking ahead to what your future financial goals are, as well as what the current financial situation and markets look like to determine, whether these things are the right decisions, knowing what your interest rate is, knowing what's available now. We actually haven't paid it off. It's something we've considered.
First of all, smart, because I keep wanting to pay more off of my mortgage, and my one guy who I talk to who knows about these things says, don't you dare, that's dumb.
Well, Dave Ramsey says to do it, but my father doesn't, because my father got locked in at like 3%, and he's like, the market is outperforming 3%, so I'm going to carry a little bit of mortgage. He keeps mortgaging the home. He keeps a mortgage on the home so he can invest the surplus.
I think your dad knows what he's doing.
It's something that's available. But once again, you have to think about what your future financial plans. I was talking to someone the other day who said that like 40 years ago, he bought a 6-family home and a 2-family home with no money down, kind of inspired to like make things happen and all that. I don't know about that story. No, I haven't. In conclusion.
He starts telling his story. Can't remember what the point of his story was about a guy who bought a house.
The funniest thing is when people are like, oh, the guy bought the house for $1 million and he's selling it for $1.5 million, and they're like, yeah, that's like, he made all this profit. It's not a stagnant investment. Like my parents just had, say my parents' house is worth $1.2 million. They just had to replace the roof. It's $40,000. Like you're constantly maintaining and keeping up with that and paying property taxes. Like, yeah, you're better off in a lot of times investing. I mean, the performance of passive income. I mean, I don't think that real estate's passive income. It has to be tended to and monitored.
But Luke Cornett sounds like he'd be a fun guy to talk to. He just stops himself mid-answer. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm all done.
Yeah, he's very tall.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. it like to work with Hardy and Wallace?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Dutcher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Again, on my algorithm on Instagram, there was a reel of De La Soul. I know this is a Tribe Called Quest, but Q-Tip's on the song that I'm talking about, where they were on Top of the Pops, where the British show where everyone had to be on it, but you lip synced. Like
Right.
there was no doubt it was lip syncing. And De La Soul did Saturday, a roller skate song or whatever the hell it is.
Roller skating jam called Saturday.
Saturday. And Q-Tip wasn't there, so Maceo was the guy, the DJ was the guy who was pretending to do his part. But then when it got to Pasta News, those dudes were dorks. Like, Pasta News is like a dork. Like,
Yeah, they're huge nerds.
Yeah, and I've heard Prince Paul say that before, but if you watch them on Top of the Pops, like there's never been someone more awkward that like just looks like it's funny. It's the only time I looked at him and I was like, wow, you're a nerd. Like a straight nerd.
It got cooler later on, though.
I love De La Soul.
So
I absolutely love De La Soul. If Tribe Called Quest is Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, De La Soul,
Agreed.
I think was more important than Tribe Called Quest.
I agree. I agree with
I
you.
think people would disagree that are far more important than I. All right, what's going on?
Aaron Rodgers not backing down. He is equal to the task. He is ready for the final push across the finish line for this New York Jets season.
I want to be out there with my guys in battle.
Yeah.
Your guys, huh?
Inspiring already.
Your guys.
Oh, my God. I'd run through a wall for this guy. Let me hear that again.
I want to be out there with my guys in battle as long as I feel healthy. Body feels as good as it felt, whether fortunately or unfortunately for the situation. Body feels great. I want to be out there. I want to be out there with the guys. I want
At
to
least
battle.
there was a little bit of self-deprecation.
Did you see the?
Yes,
you did see it. Good. We're not gonna have time for it today, but the trailer for his Netflix 3-part introspective documentary.
Yeah.
He is very much the elitist a-hole that we all think he is.
thing-
When he's being, when the cameras are off.
It's about his like spiritual journey and playing football. And there's nothing that spells intimate spiritual journey than shoving a bunch of lights and cameras into it. Like, if you're looking to have these transformative experiences, wouldn't you want to do them under a sacred privacy?
That's right. He entered the darkness with a camera.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if
what
you're
happened.
going to a shaman in say India, like you're going to like some ashram in India,
Yeah.
and it's like Vedic thing, and you're gonna do this like ancient ceremony and like bathe in the Ganges and like do all this stuff, and like I understand, and I am not even saying it's wrong at all. Like, who knows? This ancient traditions. Why would they be wrong and us be right? I'm open to all of that stuff too, and believe me, if you do rehab and stuff, they're gonna introduce you to this stuff.
Sure.
But the thing is that I don't understand. Like, if you're this spiritual guy and you're really looking for this awakening, if you're this faith seeker, that you would be shoving cameras and everything. It seems like if you were doing, and obviously he does ayahuasca in it because that's like the big hook. They show him, and he's like, I think it's kicking in. So you can watch a guy trip, which you could do on YouTube. Just put LSD or ayahuasca, and you can watch a million guys. It's really uninteresting. They just sit there, and you can watch guys smoke DMT. They just sit there for 3 minutes with their eyes closed.
It's a voyage of self-discovery, and we all
But it is interesting to me that if he's this big seeker, why are you taping this? To prove it to everyone. In fact, those are the kinds of experiences that, according to what I know about it, in order for it to be spiritual, like, it's to be not shared,
It's
right?
supposed to be a solitary, introspective experience.
And also, like, it's not to be shared in that way. Like, it's just all counter to my understanding of it. Like, the thing with Aaron Rodgers is I know the things he's doing, and I know people that have done them. The ayahuasca thing is ridiculous. I mean, they're doing it in literally Motel 6s in like Burbank, California. Like, they have shaman people actors will fly a shaman in, and they'll put him in like a Holiday Inn, literally a Holiday Inn like conference room, and he'll bring ayahuasca, and then a bunch of people will sit around for 24 hours with this ayahuasca instead of just, I don't know, taking acid at home. This is some kind of experience, but still, the idea of bringing a camera into it kind of cheapens the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like he's in with some tribe with like paint on his face, and you're like,
Make sure you film this.
Yeah,
Get
make
the
sure
light
you
in the
film
right
this.
place.
Like, make sure how spiritually advanced I am. Like, make sure everyone knows how deep I am. Well, that's not the removal of ego. That's not a creation of like fellowship. That's just you being selfish.
And it's not only that; it's the voiceover work that goes with it.
Well,
I mean,
if you're
how
going to
many-
talk like that, again, there are guys that are really smart and they talk like that, and I'll listen. But you better be really smart and like really on the money. If you're going to be condescending and talk like that and talk in that clip way, like he knows what he's doing. Like that snide monotone, you better be pretty smart, man. You better be like weird smart. Like if you're gonna be that guy, you better be like compellingly weird, like
socially awkward, smart.
Yeah, like
Yes.
you live like a very like you live like almost like a alternative lifestyle that is fascinating. You can't just be some schmucky football.
Well, just
player.
ask him. He I'm sure he'd tell you he
No,
lives
you
in
don't have-
an
you don't-
alternative lifestyle that's fascinating.
You don't have to ask him. He'll tell you anyway. Someone who is living an alternative lifestyle is Bill Belichick with Bird's here.
That's good.
I love Bird. I light up every time I see Bird.
I know.
He's awesome.
You know what?
I know why everyone loves him.
Because he's never had a bad day.
I know, and it pisses me off so much.
That's one of the things I truly love about him.
It is the thing that proves you are not your thoughts. Like if you can just ignore like every rational thought, you'll be the happiest guy in the world.
Like Bill Belichick, who rationally probably says I shouldn't be doing these things that I'm doing with my life right now. And he's answering questions in a way, once again, not in keeping with what he's actually done in his career. Would you like to guess what his answer will be when he's asked what he would do with Justin Tucker?
Oh, the Justin Tucker, the kicker from Baltimore, who's losing them games with his inaccuracy.
Keep him around.
Yeah, he's going to say keep
Gonna
him around.
keep him
even though he
around.
cut
He's
everyone.
a proven performer. I never did that when
I look
never
at
get rid of
Tucker, I
those
don't
guys.
see a lack of talent. He still has great height on the ball. The ball, travels with plenty of distance. Clearly, there's some fundamental technique thing that he's not doing consistently, and that's caused him to miss both to the left and to the right.
Yeah.
So I think, what I would do is keep working on the fundamentals and the technique of the kick.
All right.
Yeah, right. That's fascinating stuff. And I'll tell you,
Vinatieri, Gostowski, Nick Folk, who did nothing but win football games for you. How many times was he in and out of here, like in season?
Yeah.
And then
You put him on the practice squad and then elevated him during game days 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Right,
So
all these guys that you could have kept for the entirety of their careers, or just rewarded with a decent contract after he won a bunch of games for you. And in the case of Folk, no, those guys totally replaceable. But Justin Tucker,
we're going to leave that guy alone.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a roster that you think can win the Super Bowl.
and he was
You
gonna,
have all that patience.
Well, in fairness, he was going to have him practice. And again, he went on that "let's go" thing and ripped the Patriots and said how bad the defense is, and it's like, dude, they've won one less game than you won last year. Superstar, and I feel sorry for the defensive guys. They re-signed a bunch of them. A bunch of them, all of them. They just signed them all, Bill. This begging for a job is really, really tasteless. He is just a fraud. You want to talk about a phony son of a bitch? That guy is a phony. All this talk about a guy who's just like every other guy, just begging for a job.
It's laughable that he had looked down his nose at the media for all those years and now has become one of them. It's like Bobby Knight in his later years.
Thank you.
Exactly like
you.
Bobby Knight.
Just a big fraud. Just a big. Just the Wizard of Oz, baby. You take away that job, and he's just a piece of garbage. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with a non-piece of garbage stuff.
end zone. Touchdown.
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
The Bruins got a goal from Pavel Zacha just over 2 minutes into overtime, and they beat Detroit last night 3-2 at TD Garden.
Yeah, no, he was really good on forecheck. I saw that too, guys. So even if he couldn't get it, I was there to help out. But he made a great play and won that battle, and it was really important. That's why we scored.
Justin Brazeau's power play strike at 9:32 of the third period tied the game at 2, and now the Bruins have won 5 of the 7 games they've played under interim head coach Joe Sacco. They'll wrap up their back-to-back tonight in Chicago. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics will be back home to play Detroit tonight. Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday are both questionable. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 over on 105.7 WROR. Tatum yesterday voted the NBA's Eastern Conference Player of the Month for November. Patriots players are now off for the rest of the week following practice yesterday. Starting left tackle Vidarian Lowe and linebacker Jelani Tavai were the only 2 players missing. Red Sox have signed 36-year-old free agent reliever Aroldis Chapman. It's a 1-year deal worth $10.75 million. And The Athletic is reporting this morning that all of the teams involved in the bidding for top free agent Juan Soto have offers on the table north of $600 million. Those teams presumably include the Red Sox, who are believed to be one of the 5 franchises in contention for him. Sports Hub headlines are driven by the Albrecht Auto Group's O's Auto Dealer. Get respected Albrecht with 7 locations and thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles. Get the right vehicle at the right price now at albrechtauto.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Boom. Yeah.
Hit somebody.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub. You said you wanted to hear more music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
The Sports Hub. We are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Also available on YouTube. Simply go to YouTube and search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and then subscribe to that. And then the algorithm gives you all our content, and you can choose whether or not to consume that at your leisure. The show that follows us is named Zolak and Bertrand, and it can be very difficult. We're in a rare position as 98.5 The Sports Hub where people pursue 98.5 The Sports Hub to advertise. It's such a successful enterprise that instead of chasing, it's like being Wallach on a dating app. Like, he doesn't have to like anything. Like, it's just he just goes and look at who's the suitors and picks out.
They flock to him.
They flock
so
to him.
speak.
Well put.
Absolutely, like a hawk to a or an eagle to a side view mirror. They flock to him. And yesterday, that was the case on Zolak and Bertrand.
Yeah, so they're minding their own business. Beetle and Zoe doing the show. McCone's in there. They get a phone call on the board. Beetle goes to it, and I believe he's able to tell where the person is calling from. He's skeptical at first, but as they soon find out, it is the real deal. Gentleman calling from a local establishment.
On the call screener, it says someone who wants to sponsor the Golden Eggnog Hour, but it says it's the owner.
Okay, what's the Golden Eggnog Hour? What is Zolak? Is he peeing in the company holiday party stuff?
You've heard it.
Yeah. Is that the Golden Eggnog?
Zoe was on a mad texting spree last night. Like that continued well after I went to bed. I saw a lot of stuff from him this morning, which I'll have to catch up with him later. No, the Golden Eggnog Hour is literally an excuse to drink eggnog. Oh. And I think Hood was the sponsor. They sponsored it. It was the Hood Golden Eggnog. So I don't know why.
That is a very Milton Berle-esque 50s television, the Hood Golden Eggnog
That's
Hour.
why I was pushing 300 pounds by the end of that show last year, because we would drink eggnog every day in the 1 o'clock hour.
Eggnog is great, a sip. Anything that's just like drinking cheesecake.
Well, that was forced upon me when I was a kid.
Oh, I loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I
you
still
could buy
like
it in Stop and Shop. Yeah,
my son really likes it now, but he wants the vanilla eggnog. And I tried a little bit. We got the first carton of it for the season. It just tastes like melted vanilla ice cream.
Yes.
He said, this isn't even eggnog.
No,
no wonder you like it. It's just it's a very thin milkshake.
It's pancake batter basically is what you're drinking. All right. So the golden
eggnog hour. You just sit there and sip eggnog, and you listen to. There's a certain song we used to play, "Driving Home for Christmas," which I hadn't heard until we started playing it for the golden eggnog hour.
I got a bunch of texts from Zolak yesterday too.
He's on a texting spree.
So happy I'm out of that loop. Good for you guys.
I don't mind.
Congratulations.
I think it's funny.
On the call screener, it says someone who wants to sponsor the Golden Eggnog Hour, but it says it's the owner of the Golden Banana.
Oh, put him on.
So let's talk.
Oh, Jonathan. Okay, I know him. Not you.
You looked at me. I'm like, I haven't been there in a while.
Oh, is this Jake or Eddie? Because they're co-owners.
Yeah. No, Eddie's a rapscallion. You're going to want to deal with Jake. Eddie's a hype man. Jake is more of the brains behind the business.
Right. Oh, put him on. So let's talk. Hello. Who is this? I need a name. Doesn't have a name.
Listen, I've never heard Bertrand that excited in my life. I mean, he's really excited. I need a name.
Hello. Who is this? I need a name. Doesn't have a name here. Hey, it's Zoe.
Hello.
What's up?
I'm actually at home with COVID, so this is the general manager. I'm the general manager of Golden Banana.
No kidding.
Yeah, my name's Ken.
Ken, how are you? All right.
Good.
Do you guys do remotes at your place?
We can, yes.
I've done a remote at the strip club with the real crappy one, the Claremont Lounge. I did one. I used to, when I did nights, they used to have me broadcast from different places, and I could pick them sometimes.
Yeah.
So I did the Claremont Lounge one night.
We did a lot of them in Las Vegas. I told you we didn't have anything to do other than T-shirts and a putting green like we have here in the studio. So we do putts with sluts, and we brought the putting green in there, and the girls loved it. You don't appreciate it.
No.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
I don't know why. If someone's willing to take off their clothes for you, I don't know why you're putting them down. I swear to God.
That's a black mark on your resume.
Who do you think came up with the name? Was it us or was it the establishment?
I know it wasn't you.
Yeah.
It was the establishment.
Yeah,
I understand.
They loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Well,
we do a lot at our place.
We could triple dip this thing.
Well, it's easy with dipping anything here, pal. Okay, so you're interested in sponsoring the Golden Eggnog Hour? I think it'd be a great fit.
Yep.
Right? I think it'd be a good fit too. I'm not sure if you take our advertisement, but.
Why not?
Oh, I don't think we discriminate.
We don't discriminate.
Oh, I've tried before.
We do political ads here.
And they wouldn't take our advertising before, so.
I wonder why. I'd broadcast from the Golden Banana. I told you in the 6 o'clock hour, they let me in free one time. The one time I've been to the Golden Banana, they just let me right in.
They already have an endorser right there.
Absolutely.
And plus, if you listen to the ads on the stream, we're literally selling stuff to increase the size of your
penis.
No.
Oh yeah. We
can't even say it.
I was wondering why you didn't say penis.
I can't even say what that ad is selling.
Right.
But we play that ad on the stream.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Well, it's not a prostate cure. It's
No.
for something else.
Yeah.
It's something that no one wants. Something that
you shouldn't want it. Whoever is.
Unless you're a porn director.
The other person involved shouldn't want it either.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that there's. I think you're really focused on the wrong thing. Do sit-ups. Well, TT Boy, the guy you're talking to is more of the. Peter North is more of would be the ad man for that. TT Boy, not known for what Peter North was known for.
Yeah.
Peter North found the one job where that was like a skill. Like that genetic thing was just like, that's really
It's impressive.
great.
Here's a camera.
Yeah, and then you see it one time and you're like, oh, wow, that's a lot. And then you go, oh, okay.
How long ago was that? Because, the standards
a couple years ago.
Oh, no. Oh, that was a lifetime
we
ago.
were new then.
That was a lifetime ago in this business. Sir. I don't know if you know how many layoffs there have been since a couple of years ago.
We got it up and running now.
But we'll happily take your money.
Beetle will say anything.
Beetle is Is he seeing dollar signs or boobies? I mean, what's got him
That's
so hyped
as
up?
excited as I've heard him in about a decade.
That's the most excited I've ever heard him.
Yeah. No, that's he's in another gear. It's odd listening to this.
Yeah, I don't know if it's dollar signs or butt cheeks that he's seeing. I don't know which one is getting him so excited, but he's hyped up.
I didn't even know I was going to be on air. I thought I was on hold for a sales weasel. But,
Oh, no.
We put you in touch with the sales
We
weasel.
like we like to work out the deals right here on the air
Come here, Cal.
before we send you along to the salespeople.
I bet you do.
All right, so Ken, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to get Ken's number. Cal, when we take money from a strip club,
So at this point, salesperson Patrick Calnan is apparently walking by the studio.
Which is great fortune because this is one of the 5 minutes he's been in the station this year. So, I mean, what fortune for Patrick?
You're saying the desks back there are empty a lot?
I mean, it's like a god shot. Like you happen to be walking by the one time you're by the studio in 5 years.
There are people that I see here frequently. Calnan is one of them.
Okay. It does. Listen, if you're selling, I don't care if you're here or not. That's if I'm Beasley and you're selling, I don't care if you're in the station
I think the
or
sales
not.
executives would argue that's a good thing if they're not here. They're out, beating the bushes.
No, I'm just saying that I don't see salespeople here. I don't see a lot of salespeople here.
Looking for their tee shot.
I'm trying to help.
Beating the
I'm
bushes.
trying to help here. That's all I'm doing.
Listen, if you're making your numbers and you're selling, I wouldn't care if you're here or not.
why not? We should have no standard. We should have no. And as McCone likes to say, there's no kink shaming here. No? Is that against our rules?
He's too nervous. Go get wind check. We're a family operation.
No, we're not. Family operating.
We're a publicly traded company.
We're not a family-oriented show.
Bring someone in here that's been here every day.
Let's get his information. I'd like to hammer that deal out. If Calnan won't sell him the ads, I will.
Winship will. Winship worked in Miami.
I think that's new business. That's a good piece right there. Nice percentage.
Nobody knows strip joints better than Winship.
You know what? I would. That's funny. That's a good line by. So I would broadcast live from DB's Golden Banana just because I think it would be hysterical to broadcast live from a strip club from 6 to 10 in the morning. I just think it would be fantastic. Like the people that would show up, it would be all wrong. It would have to be actively a strip club, and I would broadcast from there if it was only from the hours of 6 to 10 a.m. and it would have to be an active strip club during the broadcast. I don't even know if that's legal. But because it wouldn't be any fun.
We need the loud music in the background. Be very important.
It would just have to be an active. I want to just see what a strip club is like at 6:45 in the morning.
You don't know?
No, they weren't open 24 hours a day. They closed at 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't live in Vegas. Vegas is a whole other animal.
Talk to us, Hardy. What is a strip club like at 6:30 in the morning?
It's tragic.
Yeah, I'd imagine either really sad or really fast. But yeah, you needed a membership. The clubs had to sell a membership to keep open 24 hours a day, and that was more of a gay situation. At 5 in the morning, it turned into a very gay situation.
Oh, okay.
Not at strip clubs. At the membership, I very rarely went to the membership places.
Yeah, the clubs that went through phases throughout the night. It was like, and again, I'll go back to Vegas, but there was one in particular. I think it was called Dre's, and I was never there for the after hours. But at a certain point in the night, it was like a touristy club, and then it became like a more hardcore dance club, and then it became a local spot, and then the after hours, that was the super inside, gotta know about it, but they technically never closed. And a lot of these places, they can't necessarily ever kick you out, but they can just make it real uncomfortable for you to be there after a certain point when they're shifting from one vibe to another throughout the night.
Yeah, if you brought a girl that you met at a club to one of the places that needed a membership, that was where you're going to lose the girl, because there'd be gay guys on E, shirts off, tremendous shape. The girls would know that they're dancing. The girls would know they were gay. They'd immediately flock to them. They could put their hands all over them. They can do whatever they want. It's all fun. There's no stakes. I mean, it probably happened to me 4 times that I meet a girl at a club. I remember a girl named Kiki that I met at a club because she was hot, and I brought her to one of those places, and just off with a gay guy.
Yeah.
Group of gay guys, just a gaggle of gays. They
He's
just
way
swallow
better
her up.
looking and way more fun.
There's 5 of them that are way better looking and way more fun than you.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about anything. Like if I grab their hog or like feel their chest, like they don't care. Like there's no implication. So there you go.
You make it sound so romantic.
It's not.
Loving.
It's not. It's a girl on ecstasy, not wanting to commit to having sex
There you
and
go.
being able to feel and use all her senses and not have to worry about it. If you asked 99% of women, would you rather have a boyfriend or a gay best friend? You ain't winning that if you're heterosexual.
Yeah.
I mean, you're married. I mean, at least one of your wives has or desperately wants a gay best friend. I mean, Lord knows mine did. I mean, she would chase the guy at the radio station. She would be looking for him, trying to track him down. So there you go. All right, we'll be back. The Major League Baseball is not. They've sort of floated a new rule that's got people very upset, and we'll explore what that rule would be.
It's not the golden banana.
No, it's we're staying on the golden tip.
That's right.
All right, we'll keep that going in just a moment.
A big, beautiful ball of flavor.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Is Milliken here?
He is en route.
Okay, good. Because Bird is here. Bird is Johnny on the spot. Why is Bird not allowed to answer the phone that never rings? The most boring job in
He
radio.
can answer the phone if he wants to.
He volunteered for it. He walked in. That's the first thing he said.
Most
He didn't bring
boring
his
job in radio.
he didn't bring his movie set up with him. So
Yeah, when Bird worked here early, when he was the phone screener, he piece by piece brought in a home entertainment system. And by that I mean he brought in a home entertainment system. He brought in devices to listen to and watch and fully experience movies, full movies.
surround sound.
He brought in surround sound, for real. Like, not headphones even. He brought in surround sound to immerse himself in an audio experience other than the show.
Subwoofers.
But we weren't the reason he took a picture at a club like during COVID and the station freaked out and that's why he got let go. It wasn't us. We were perfectly fine with him just watching movies in there and getting paid. All right, so last night you saw it. That hockey game last night was brutal. It was really bad. I mean, they were even saying so on ESPN. And, you know, at the end, it was entertaining because it's 3-on-3. And who would have thought if you would have said 40 years ago overtime was going to be settled with 5 minutes of 3-on-3, and if it didn't work, a shootout. And I still don't like the shootout. It's too important to point. But I think everyone in this room agrees that 3-on-3 in overtime is an advancement of the rule. There are rules like advancing the ball in NBA during a timeout, and they put that rule in because they want star players to have a shot to win games, at the end. There's been a bunch of rules. The three-point line, I think, is kind of backfiring right now for the NBA, but because it's not really that entertaining, in my opinion, just watch teams huck up threes. It's become like a long drive contest, and, that's not what the spirit of the game is, Hardy. As you know.
Oh no, that's sideshow stuff.
All right, so Major League Baseball has floated something out. Now they have the universal designated hitter, which got rid of. I didn't like that, but the ghost runner and the pitch clock and shift bands. So those are three things that they've done. Obviously, they want the game to be more entertaining. But what do this is just an exercise. What do the pitch clock, the shift band, and ghost runner all? There's a tangible reason for them. Other than just the overall being entertaining, what is the tangible reason? What do they accomplish?
Moving the game along quicker.
Exactly. They make the game move along quicker. They've implemented all these rules to great success to get the game under 3 hours. That's what the goal is. So now, Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, has brought up this golden at bat rule. While they should really be working on not deferring money in contracts and making teams play, because what's going on with Soto and what's going on with the Dodgers is not good for baseball. You're alienating 28 markets, and you might as well just screw it. If you're not Toronto, either of the New York teams, the Dodgers or the Red Sox, you're screwed. So, I mean, just every other team can't win. You have like a window every 20 years of like 2 years where you can win, which just is terrible for the game. Every time one of these teams adds a free agent, you're just like, what's the point? What's the point of rooting for another team? The league should be 5 teams. Anyway, so this golden at bat, it's by the Savannah Bananas. Now, I went to go see the Savannah Bananas, who have the golden batter rule, which is that you can bring up any hitter that you want one time a game. Mm-hmm. And the Savannah Bananas, as I told you, is entertainment, very successful, great entrepreneurship, wonderful product, but it's not for adult men. It's really for teenage girls. It's a lot of dancing around to like It's Raining Men. It's very campy. It's like high camp. It seems like it would be appropriate for a bachelorette party. It's like muscular guys dancing around to silly songs, like being nutty fellas and like twirling around. They sing into the butt of the baseball bat. Like that's like a woman singing to a spatula. A group of women in a kitchen in a movie. You know what I'm saying? It's not for men.
Yes.
I like me and my son left. Like, why are we here? My son desperately wanted to go see Savannah Bananas. We go see it and we sit in there and we're like, well, this isn't for us.
Yeah, it's a show. It's a show more than a game.
It's a campy show. Yeah. Like, it's not entertaining. I don't think I have a job to entertain men, and I wouldn't make a video of us three singing into the butt of a baseball bat and put that on the Sports Hub website. I would think that would be a bit of a turnoff for most men. Now, they're stealing from Savannah Bananas because it's a great story. I mean, they did sell out Fenway Park. They're going around selling out all these places.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real success story, and it works, and that's great, but it's not going to appeal to men. I just don't think it does. It would appeal to, if you're looking for teenage girls, this is a great thing to do. So the idea is, this is an instance that Fox Sports brings up. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the New York Yankees lineup went up against Walker Buehler in the 9th inning of the Dodgers series clinching win in Game 5 as Aaron Judge and Juan Soto watched from the dugout. And so the idea is that you would bring them up at the end of a game. Now, I don't know what happens if the best batter's already on base.
Or let's say the Judge hits second in the order and you have Judge for his golden at-bat pinch hit for the guy who's the leadoff hitter. Does that mean Judge gets to hit again right afterwards?
And Manfred said the player side of it is really difficult for the union. Obviously, you want a consensus if we need agreement or would like agreement. With the union, the reason is so hard for them is that you think about it, almost every change, the pitches line up one way, the hitters line up another. They represent them both. And would you be allowed to change the pitcher? It's just a bad idea. And it's what I fear is that commissioners, everyone says, oh, Manfred, you made these great rule changes. What a bold leader you are. And
what do we do next? We have to do something else.
And then you get all
then an
proud of
intern came
yourself.
and said, have a video for you to watch. Look at this.
Yeah, and then you get all proud of yourself and you start getting out of hand. And the thing is that moving the game along is great. This slows the game down. There's a big decision, and what are they going to do now? And then it all stops, and then they're going to have to let the guy get on deck. I mean, when do you have to announce it? So do you have to put the guy on deck before the hitter? And they're going to make this whole production out of it, and it's going to take 15 minutes. Can you switch pitchers? I mean, what are you going to be able to do? Because if you switch pitchers, it's another 10 minutes. So the whole thing is anti every good move they've made.
Except it would only be occasionally. You'd only get to use it once a game, and one of the variations, there's no written rule for this, or at least not one that anybody could uncover, but among the rumors is that it could only be used, and you'd only want to use it late in the game, like 7th inning and on. And as the game does seem to be moving better now, and it's a better watch than it used to be, I wouldn't mind it if it only happened occasionally. That slowdown that you're talking about, Fred, where they get the batter ready and maybe there is a pitching change. Okay, you can slow it down once during the game for this one reason, and that I could deal with. It's not something that's going to be happening with both teams every inning. No, it'd be once a game, every once in a while.
It's 100. That's 300 and what 24 times. I mean, what's 162 times 2?
Yeah.
I mean, that's hundreds of times.
324. No,
324. That's 324 times a year.
No,
in games that's going to happen.
I absolutely hate this.
It's
maybe
not
because I'm a baseball purist, but I mean,
it's not being a purist. It changes. It changes everything.
Strategy. It just I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And it takes what it takes away from too is, I understand if you're managing the team and you want to win, of course you're going to put Juan Soto up in that spot. That has to do it. But it takes away that chance of a heroic moment from a batter who you're not expecting to get that walk-off
Dave
hit.
Roberts. I mean, I know Dave Roberts, but Dave Roberts, I know, but the stolen base, Dave Roberts, there's heroes like that. Like when you did the game with the Cardinals, that Taguchi, Spears. There's like a million guys that Spike Owen in the '85 World Series got on Letterman because he had a big hit for the Royals.
Yeah, and you would take those moments away.
And you would take those moments away, and also it's and now listen, huh?
It's Buddy Biancalana.
Buddy
Owen
Bianca.
was a Red Sox guy.
Okay, yeah. Buddy Biancalana. Thank you.
Yeah.
Second baseman, white
Bobby
second
Bacala.
baseman.
Bobby Bacala.
Not a poor white second baseman.
Yeah. Biancalana got into it with David Letterman later. It was a whole thing.
Okay,
yes.
very good. That's what was going on. But and it's also, I understand some guys make $600 million and some guys don't, but it's also a team game, and you're just like shoving some dude aside and saying, "Hey," It seems like Major League Baseball's got a decent thing going, and now they're just in over their head, and they're just throwing anything out there. And I really wouldn't look to the Savannah Bananas. I understand that it's successful, but it's not the demographic you want. It's not.
I get
dudes
the
with
idea.
money.
You want to skew younger. You want to get younger fans involved. I get that, but this is not the way to do it.
Teenage girls aren't going to like baseball. Just they're not. And if you're looking to appeal to them, you're going to turn off the audience that you have.
See, this is the thing. This is what worries me about Major League Baseball because I want more fans. I want more people to like the sport. I'm hoping that it skews younger occasionally, but every once in a while, Manfred says and does these things or floats trial balloons, and you're like, who's in charge there? Who's making the decisions there? You did a few good things, but now you're going to I worry about the leadership of this sport. Going into the future, the average age of the baseball fan is what, 55?
No, it's older than
60?
that. It's in the 60s.
Whatever it is. I mean, you've taken a cautious first step forward to try and get younger people back to the ballpark. Don't torpedo yourself like this.
And also look at who goes to Savannah Banana games. Look at who their audience is. It's really the best way to describe it is like a tame bachelorette party, like a rated G bachelorette party. That's the best way to put it. It's like if you ever went to a sorority party when they rented out a bar. It's a lot of like putting their arms around each other and jumping up and down to bad songs, to disco songs, or whatever the equivalent would be now. I just remember I'd never heard It's Raining Men until I went to college. And then a bunch of... Oh, no, I Will Survive. I Will Survive. I'd never heard I Will Survive.
Yeah.
Because if you had MTV, you had heard It's Raining Men from the Weather Girls.
Oh,
no,
of course.
No, this was I Will Survive, and I was at a bar, and a bunch of girls put their arms around each other and started singing I Will Survive, like, very dramatically. And I went, oh, boy, do I hate this. Like, I hate everything about this. Like, all of you... Now, listen... You all show any sexual interest in me, this will all go away. But right now,
I'll start singing. Yeah.
No, I won't start singing, but I will certainly forgive you for this act. But right now, you are not on my list, and that is a place you don't want to be. All right, look.
So if you're going to, just to put a bow on it, if you're going to see the Golden at Bat, presumably it would be tested in the minors within the next couple of years, or there is the notion that they might try it out in the All-Star game.
Yeah, or just have the Savannah Bananas play, because I got news for you. When me and my 16-year-old son walk out of the game, or he might have even been 15. We're walking out. I mean, what you want him? You want a 16-year-old boy to want to watch the game. That's what you want. All right, look, everyone's head over heels for what's going on in college football. The 12 teams going into conference championship week have been named, and that got us thinking, who around here is a college graduate? So we found two of them, and we are going to do an old school college bowl, as you would find on PBS on Saturday mornings, with Tyler Milliken and our friend Bird. They both have college degrees from the same institution, and they will be here, and we will just do a college bowl to find out the general knowledge as everyone goes crazy for the sports, and there's all this money in it, and the NIL money, and just kids driving Lamborghinis that go to Colorado. We're going to find out just how much education you're getting, because people forget colleges are about the education. And we'll find out what kind of education college graduates are getting now in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. As we get into, I mean, you can't avoid it. I mean, if you consume any national sports media at all, it's the big thing that's going on. It is the college bracket for the playoffs, and the projection was released last night, and it's a who's who. Who couldn't have been more excited for Oregon, Boise State, SMU, and Texas? Three of those schools, huh? I know Oregon's the best team in the nation, and I know Phil Knight's just pumping NIL money into that program, and it's all really great. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest. Outside of Texas, who is nice, you know, at least has got an atmosphere around it, Oregon's too far away, and there's far too many hippies. All right, but, you know, sometimes with the NIL, and we just talked about it, Phil Knight's pumping in a lot of money. Michigan just paid a kid $12 million to come transfer to be their quarterback next season. We can forget that the children or the young adults that matriculate on these college campuses are really the ones that we should be concerned about. It's our sons and daughters going out and, you know, finding their way in this world and in the value of a college education. So we have to have one former employee, man by name Bird. Hi, Bird.
Hey, Bird. There he is. Look at him.
And Bird has a sweater on of himself, and it says any who,
any ho,
and it's Bird. And someone obviously, did you have that made, or did someone make it for you?
No, me and Joe Murray 2 years ago, around this time of the year, like, let's get shirts so we go on the Wilbur and it'll be funny. And it comes to like January 7th.
All right. So
hold on a second. So it says any ho who.
So like any ho who.
Yeah, because he goes anywho.
Anywho is his
Okay.
thing. So
And
now he made it a Christmas deal.
And then it has your name at the bottom, but it is spelled BRRD.
I've accepted the double R.
Yeah, because you don't know, because in 98 Mile, in 98 Mile, he spelled his name, but he said B-R-R to the R to the D.
Okay.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, he screwed up. Yeah. But Bird was working for the show, and everyone loves Bird. Bird is like the mayor of every town he goes into. When he first started, my trainer goes to me, the trainer I had at the time, goes to me, hey, does Bird work for you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know Bird. And da-da-da-da. And just like Bird knows everyone's brother, right, Tyler?
Everybody knows
Of course.
Bird. Random bouncers. Remember that we walked into a club and the guy at the elevator was like, oh, yeah, Bird, how are you? You know,
Scorpion bar.
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, you score a touchdown for Everett High.
Once. That was
One
the
time.
Thanksgiving
Just
Day
once.
touchdown
Yep.
once. Yes.
Absolutely. And you are a hero forever. Bird, now you were the phone screener for our show, and you did piece
during the
by
summers.
piece, brought in a home
This is correct.
entertainment unit
Yeah, I did.
to watch movies because you were so bored during the show.
No, only during the summers. I wasn't during this time of the year. I wasn't because fall book and spring book and stuff like
Right.
that. Summertime, come on, it was boring.
Yeah, you were
Nothing
very.
against you guys. You know what I mean?
Listen. I have to listen to myself talk. It's not a pleasant experience, but you can understand that in most jobs, that if you came in and the job was to be paying attention somewhat, and you were selling yourself as entertainment, and someone brought in an entertainment system to distract themselves and entertain themselves during their job, that could be considered by some offensive. But I thought it showed chutzpah. I had no problem with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. But Bird, what are you doing now?
I'm working at Easy Disposal. I am working at the Everett High School doing football games, basketball games, all that stuff, behind the scenes stuff. Working at Northeastern, doing camera work for the hockey, baseball, basketball programs, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm working at the TD Gun doing alcohol compliance.
Doing what?
Alcohol compliance. So basically,
Alcohol compliance.
Yeah. So basically,
Alcoholic compliance.
yes.
Not appliance, compliance.
Yeah, you said
said
alcohol
appliance.
appliance. All right, so alcohol compliance.
So I just walk around, make sure nobody's like crawling at the TD Gun. If they are, I just grab them, then we call security and then get them out.
Oh, so you just have to walk around finding drunk people?
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Underage people, yeah.
What do you do if you find like a really drunk person?
Oh, I just like, hey, come here for a second. And I'm like, how many drinks have you had tonight? You know, just like shooting the crap with them. They'll call security. And security come over and like, yeah, he's got to go. Like,
Have you had to physically restrain anybody?
No, at the garden, no.
Okay.
Fenway, different story.
Yeah. But, So you're like a narc.
Yeah, basically. But I don't go out of the way to ruin anyone's day.
Do you have like a minimum of people?
No, we don't have to do that.
All right, so how many people do you think you've gotten thrown out of the garden?
Since for the past 2 years, at least 20, 25 people.
Okay, so
Nothing
and
too
how many
crazy.
events have you been at?
Oh, all of them. Concerts.
Okay,
parties.
so you've been at hundreds of events in only like
Yeah.
20. So these are really people that are at danger.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they could fall down the stairs
and
or
if they
something.
look 12 with the beer, I'm going to stop them, obviously. Other than that.
What event have you had the most people? Like, it sounds like you'll go multiple events in a row without having to identify anyone.
Mostly
Is it
concerts and Bruins games.
concerts and Bruins games?
Yes.
And what percentage are men at the Bruins game?
It's a good 75%.
Okay, because I've seen
some drunk women there. Too.
Oh,
my
boy,
God, yeah.
you want to?
I was just going to say, but the women you find that are
Oh, my
drunk at
God,
those
yeah.
events, that's off the
And
charts.
it's funny because
Exactly.
the tickets were like $300 a piece, and
I
you're like,
know.
"How is this drunk townie chick in here?"
I
Like,
know, but
this is insane.
Yeah, the Bruins fans that are women are a different breed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
All right, but you mentioned have you found like a 12-year-old like openly drinking a beer?
No. The youngest one was like 14, 15 years old.
Okay, but you
15,
found a.
15. Yeah.
Okay, so
Pretty young.
that's pretty ballsy. So the 14-year-old were they in their seat or they were like in the concourse?
So if they're in the seats, we're not allowed to bother anybody. If they're walking around the concourse, it's all fair.
So
game.
there's just a 14-year-old with a beer in his
Because you
hand.
can tell he's like smiling, he's like all goofy and stuff, like I'm underage drinking. It's like, dude, you're giving it away. You're smiling at me like a clown right now. So just come here.
And he was a 14-year-old kid. My daughter's 14 in an 8th grade. And just imagine her just having a beer at the garden.
No.
Just going to a Celtics game with her friends and just getting beers at the garden.
I'm like, Zoe, go.
I would actually, I actually
let it
would.
go.
If you kicked my daughter out for drinking, I'd be like, "Thank you so much. Now I can never let her do anything again in her life." And Tyler
Milliken.
Yeah,
Hey.
Tyler Milliken.
I'll give
Hell
you
yeah.
that.
Good to see you.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Proud of you for that, seriously.
Now, just as Bird worked for my show when Hardy did Middays, Tyler, of course, worked for the show that Hardy was on.
Right. Tyler Milliken, the associate producer, he does tons and tons of stuff for that show. He also appears on a baseball podcast. Still doing that. You're doing the hot stove stuff now. What are you doing?
Yeah. So Section 10 podcast, we still record every single week covering all the Red Sox rumors with the Juan Soto stuff and everything going on. I'm sorry, Bird. Hardy's used to this. Other people probably aren't. But I'm happy to be here. I don't see Hardy much anymore. He doesn't check in on me. I feel like an abandoned child almost. So this is a big moment for me.
You are Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin.
Yeah, that too. Obviously, I'm not even the coolest person in my family to have been on this show.
Yeah. Were you gifted a big chain like your cousin?
No, I did talk to him last night, though. I did check in with him.
How's he doing?
He's doing good. Health-wise, he's in a better spot than
Good.
where he was at the end of the internship, but he misses you guys a lot. And
The door, and legitimately, and if you're listening, Tyler Milliken's cousin, you are welcome at any point. At any point you want to come in,
Well,
you are welcome.
Hardy talks to him more than he talks to me.
I text back and forth with him a little bit. He did send us one piece of production that, for his sake, I will not play again.
Yeah.
We played it once.
You can never go back.
But that was, I've been in contact with him, and I'm glad he's doing well. But it's nice to have you here too, Tyler, because you've always been on my radar as a kid with a lot going on and a lot on the ball. But there are certain things that are really puzzling about you. One of them was when you were confused about Fred's participation in a 5K. This happened not long ago.
Yeah, I still am not 100% sure on that. I did listen to the segment you guys did on it, but it's a confusing process. I think a lot of people who aren't runners don't understand it. I've been going through a lot recently in my personal life. I'm not scared to admit it. I've left Brockton. I am now in Wareham, and I'm not in my usual setting, so everything's kind of throwing me off.
And that has somehow infiltrated your ability to figure out what a 5K is.
I don't know anything anymore. I thought I knew the world, but I clearly don't.
So you know what a 5K is now?
Yeah, it's
What
a
is
race.
it? And what does the 5K mean?
I know it's not 26 miles. It's like 10 or like 8 or something. It's lower, 5 miles.
Lower.
Tyler.
3?
I
What does the
appreciate
5K
I don't
stand
know.
for?
I don't know. 5K, that means
Well,
$5
you're
grand.
proving that every moment now. No,
Okay, but what does the measurement 5K stand for?
Kilometers.
Okay.
There you go. Close enough.
I did
No, we
kilometers.
got it.
Yeah, same thing.
Kilometers. He's good.
Tyler Milliken,
Kilometers.
Canadian, by the way, with kilometers. It's
He's
kilometer.
fine. He's
People
fine.
usually say kilometers, but
Kilometers.
listen. All right, very good. Listen, so what are the chances that two people that really, I mean, Milliken does more for the midday show, but I guess if you would have asked Bird what he was for our show, it would have been, I don't know. He could have said he was some kind of producer of some sort.
I used to say producer.
Yeah, sure.
Go grab the audio. And
Yeah,
all that
why
fun
not?
Stuff.
Bird still gets audio for us. I mean, he's still technically a producer. Who knows? But him and Tyler, graduates of the same college. Now, they're very proud graduates. It's a great school. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. They have a beautiful facility, and they always send very nice emails after Bird's on. They really do. They send nice emails.
Yes.
All right,
like
good.
so, like it's a good school. I'm not questioning the school, but both of you do have had similar jobs or have a job at the station, and you both went to the same school. It is college bowl season, so again, it's not always about the sports. It's about the academics. So we are going to bring you next. General knowledge test for both Bird and Tyler Milliken, who graduated from the same college. They both hold bachelor degrees from the same college, and we will find out who is the superior. It's not even about intellect. It's just about knowledge.
It's about being a well-rounded, educated person. You both have college degrees from the same institution, a great school, and that is what we will be testing here today. Yes, Tyler.
Hardy, are you confident in me? Like, I feel like you know me more than everybody else in this room. You know what I'm capable of. Do you think I have a chance? Bird has a lot of years on me. No offense.
Bird certainly has more life experience, and I mean, if this were like a street smarts test, Bird would bury you.
I'm from the streets. I grew up in Brockton.
It's a little different. It's a little different, Tyler.
Like if Bird was in prison,
yeah,
he'd be fine.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Right.
I think you understand what we're getting at here.
Like he wouldn't have to always pal around with the Aryans. Like there,
yeah.
he would have like a
You'd
lot
figure things out a lot quicker than you would.
Yeah, if in prison, Bird and Joe Murray. Those are the two guys that.
Oh, we run the block.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd run stuff, but I think that
You'd
nothing
be in
would
less
happen.
danger.
Yeah, I think nothing would happen.
Sitting
to
on
you.
the top step on the yard.
Yeah,
they'd be right out there. But
you'd want Bird as your roommate in prison because he's not going to do anything to you.
Exactly.
And he's going to have some pep around there.
We didn't throw this thing together. We sat in a room, everyone here on the show, all six of us, and came up with what we thought was a very fair and what will be a competitive test for both of you. I like your chances, Tyler, but not necessarily more than I like Bird's chances. This is designed. This is designed to be a true test, and we want a squeaker. All we really want out of this is a good game.
Tyler,
I just want a good game.
Tyler, I don't know you very well. I'm very confident because I do know Bird well. But it's not designed to favor one of you. It really isn't. And these are true general knowledge questions. These are questions that all of us knew the answer to, including Nick, who does not have a college degree.
Interesting.
Nick went to a trade school. So
it's basically like, are we smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I'm game.
We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not reinventing the wheel here. It's the College Bowl. It's exactly what it is. All right, so we will be back in just a moment.
Touch your...
3-2 win. Nikita Zadorov and Justin Brazeau both scored during regulation, and the Bruins are back at it again tonight in Chicago. Ryan and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics had last night off. They host Detroit this evening as their 5-game homestand continues. Granding and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 over on 105.7 WROR. Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday are both listed as questionable. Tatum yesterday was voted the NBA's Eastern Conference Player of the Month. Patriots players are now off for the rest of the week following practice yesterday. Starting left tackle Verdarian Lowe and linebacker Jelani Tabai were the only two players missing. Red Sox have signed 36-year-old free agent reliever Aroldis Chapman, and The Athletic is reporting that all of the teams involved in the bidding for top free agent Juan Soto have offers on the table of over $600 million. That presumably includes the Red Sox, who are believed to be one of the 5 franchises in contention for him. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts leader in drain cleaning and pipelining, Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
When sports news breaks in Boston,
Officially from the Boston Bruins.
it breaks here.
Boston Bruins general manager Don Sweeney announced today, November 19th, the team has relieved Jim Montgomery of his duties as head coach.
For the latest updates,
Associate coach Joe Sacco will assume interim head coaching duties.
and the analysis.
To me, this isn't enough. I think they got to shake up the locker room.
Stay right here.
We'll see how this goes.
Boston's home for breaking sports news. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an enticing explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch this whole exercise on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube, and we're up there 24 hours a day. We're live right now. I have to thank a listener named Jay, who emailed us this idea, really, because when Milliken couldn't figure out what a 5K was and it was aggravating Hardy, the listener pointed out that Milliken and Bird both shared degrees from the same institution. I didn't know. So a listener named Jay, so thank you, Jay, for it. He emailed, he goes, I'm glad you're finally doing it. And I went, that's right. It was kind of your idea. But it is college bowl season, Hardy, and we get all caught up in these NIL and these hotshot athletes, but there are hundreds of thousands of kids matriculating on campuses across the United States.
Fred, these athletes are not just athletes, they are student to athletes. Student comes first, and in the case of both Bird and Tyler Milliken, students, graduates, as you said, of the same institution. So today we bring you this very special segment.
Each and every autumn, scores of eager young scholars matriculate at institutions of higher learning all across this great land of ours. Their goal? To fill their minds with the vast knowledge accumulated throughout eons of the human experience. And, if fate allows, to prepare for what could be the greatest test of their education in the form we have constructed here today. A rigorous examination of what will push the limits of what can not only be measured but ultimately achieved. And at its fiery and climatic conclusion, let me do that again. And at its fiery and climatic conclusion, only one will stand victorious in the Bird and Milliken College Bowl.
And that is Nicholas.
Climatic?
Is with the climatic.
Like clamato juice.
It's a device that you can buy online.
Got it. At 4 in the morning.
All right, so here's the deal. Bird and Tyler Milliken both went to the same college. They both have shared degrees from the same college. And they're of different ages, but they have received the knowledge required for a degree. Hardy has a list of general knowledge questions. Now, what's going to happen is Hardy's going to bang back and forth between Bird and Tyler. Now, if you'll have, let's say, 10 seconds to answer. You then will have the opportunity to steal if the person who is asked the question does not get it right. And if you steal, that is, of course, worth a point.
Now, both John and Fred will be keeping score. So we have 2 scorekeepers here. I will merely be asking the questions and checking the answers. Much like on Jeopardy, we will double-check the answers to make sure if there's any ambiguity or we think you could be right. But for the most part, these are pretty cut and dry. Questions to both of you. Bird, you were sitting closest. You were here first. You're actually going to go first. What is it, Tyler?
All right, I have one question. Do I have to steal, or can I choose? Do I have a number of steals here?
There's an opportunity to steal for every wrong answer. The other person has an opportunity to steal. So if the one person gets it wrong, the other person has a chance to steal. You don't have to announce steal.
Yeah,
as soon as they're wrong, you get a chance.
This isn't like a challenge in an NBA game.
I was ready to bark.
I was going to say, to put it in terms that Tyler would appreciate, it's not a golden bat situation. Okay.
We don't want the golden bat.
No.
All right, without further ado, Hardy, let's get down to business. Bird is receiving the first question today.
All right. 5 areas we will be examining today.
Oh, boy.
Geography, literature,
Nope.
music,
Got it.
weights and measures,
Oh, boy.
and history.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bad at all of these.
He's already given up on 4 of the 5 categories.
3 out of 5. I'm
They're
good at.
complex.
All right. You're going to be better at this than you think, Bert.
All right, here we go. These are all questions that Nick knew the answers to, and Nick did not go to college.
Oh, jeez. A lot of
All right,
pressure on
so
us.
there is a non-college graduate that had participated in the writing of these questions. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Bird, question number 1 to you. What county do you live in?
It's not Essex. Suffolk. Suffolk County. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Bird! I knew it was Essex and Suffolk.
Tyler,
It was
what
one of the
county
others.
do you live in, just for fun?
Plymouth.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, wait a second. In Wareham?
Thank you.
Wow.
Respect me.
Because I
Acknowledge him.
and again, I have to double check this because I checked for Easton before, which is
Suffix.
All right.
It's all right.
I don't know.
That's a point for Bird. That's a point for Bird.
Bird got the first one
You already
right.
you got the first one right. You used to live in Bristol County.
When I was in Brockton?
I thought you were in Easton.
No,
No,
he said he was in Brockton.
See, he doesn't care about me. You never listen to anything about my life.
I mean, Hardy's the one who's wrong.
Yeah, they're correct. And then
All right, here we go.
All
to
right,
Tyler Milligan.
Tyler, here we go. How many states are there in New England?
Six.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I was going to say, if you didn't get that,
Thank you. I was just counting. I was being safe. No need to rush.
All right, it's 1-1.
All right. Come on.
We're all tied up.
You're both doing very, very well. I'm proud of both.
It's 1-1, so no one's going to go. You're all both off the schneid, so no one's going.
Yeah, right.
defeated.
You should feel great already, and I think you're going to feel great after this question to you, Bird.
Oh, boy.
Name 2 plays by Shakespeare.
Romeo and Juliet and what's the other one? Mel Gibson's in the movie. What's his name? Oh my gosh.
All right, that's 10 seconds.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler Milligan.
I just got to name another one.
No, you just named. Yeah,
Shakespeare.
okay.
Midnight Summer's Stream.
Can we accept that?
That is it. I did a whole thing about it in high school.
Midsummer.
Are you serious?
No, that is not the name. of the
Midnight Summer Stream?
It's something like that.
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
A Midsummer
wasn't
Night's
gonna
Dream.
Or a
Remember that?
Midsummer, Midsummer Night's Dream.
We're not
Midsummer
giving out
Night's
points
Dream,
there.
yes.
No, I'm sorry.
50%? Half a point?
No.
No,
Hardy.
Bert even have a name.
It's a legendary
Juliet. I
piece
couldn't
of
think of the
work,
other one.
Tyler.
I mean, Shakespearean plays are not in the public consciousness at all, and never taught in college.
I knew Romeo and Juliet.
Are either of you English majors?
No.
Calm.
Okay.
All right. So, no points for Bird or on the steal. Milliken, your question in literature. Name a book by Mark Twain.
Hamlet.
No, are you trying?
I swear on my life.
That's the movie I wanted. I mean, Hamlet. That was a William Shakespeare play.
Yeah, it's good, but you can't go back.
I know.
Do you know the answer to this question, though, Bird?
Name
Bird,
a
you
book
can
by
steal.
Mark Twain.
I don't read books from Mark Twain. I don't care about him.
Who wrote Hamlet?
Will Shakespeare. That was the one.
Isn't that a book?
Bill Shakespeare.
Will Shakespeare. Hamlet is a play. He wrote plays, but they are in book form.
Mark Twain, think of Mississippi River, think of Young Men, Adventures.
Name the most famous literary American character of all time, arguably.
I have no idea. I don't read.
Huck.
Huckleberry Finn.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
There you go. All right.
Rush
You're
song.
talking about Pony Boy.
Oh yeah.
Rush song named Tom.
Tom Sawyer.
All right,
Yeah,
there
very
you
good.
go.
No points in literature. Shocked. Let's move on. This is an audio clue.
For
Adam
Bird.
12, you ready for these?
No.
Okay.
All right,
We'll move on. We'll come back to that one.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all right.
No. You can give it the.
No.
Let's go to another category.
Let's go. We'll go to weights and measures, which I think
boy.
you're going to do better in anyway. This is for you, Bird. How many inches in a yard?
Think it out.
Why am I drawing blanks? I should know this. 24 inches? 12. No, that's foot. Why am I drawing blanks?
All right,
I should know this.
how many feet in a yard?
3.
Okay.
Well,
Tyler Milliken, go ahead.
36 inches.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We call that a wallet.
All right, Tyler, you're up 2-1.
All right, weights and measures.
Both of them graduates of the same college. They
Yes.
have a bachelor's,
2020, baby.
bachelor's degree.
Oh, 4.
Tyler Milliken. It's 30 minutes in one half of football. How many minutes in one quarter, and what is half of one quarter of football?
15 and 7.5.
Oh, my God. He had it just right away.
Please.
I'm embarrassed.
Look at you.
Question.
Look at you.
I thought that was, I didn't think there was any way. All right, here we go. We're back to Bird.
Oh, boy.
Bird.
Yes.
Musical clue.
Oh, boy.
Listen to this song and please tell us the artist and title.
Here we go.
DJ No Beats. Black Hole Sun.
Oh, my God. He got it right away.
By whom?
Oh, give me a second. No. I know it. Guy sang for Audio Slave. He left.
Yep.
He was in this band. Then he went to Audio Slave.
Mm-hmm.
Talk it out.
I could see it in front of me. Why is I hate my brain.
It's fine.
Auditory process.
He died in a casino in Detroit.
Yep. Chris Cornell. I know it's Chris Cornell.
Yep.
I can't think of the name of the band. Oh, Black Hole Sun. I can't think of the name of the band. It's killing me.
Oh, my God. Fred, great job judging Fred. He did not have the artist for the steal, Tyler
You just say it, I'm
Milliken.
gonna get pissed. Go ahead.
I have no. I couldn't even give you an answer.
Okay.
Kurt Cobain.
The answer was Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden.
Okay, there you go. That is the band Soundgarden.
All right, you have a chance to grab a point here in music and take a commanding lead. Tyler Milliken, name this song, artist, and title.
Let him go with it.
I have no idea.
All right.
Nirvana? I'm just trying to think of bands that fit your guys' age.
I think Bird knows this one. I think he
Bird,
does.
can you steal?
Painted Black.
Rolling Stones.
With the steal.
Unfair.
G7. Hit you.
Attaboy, Bird.
Bird, it's 3-2.
3-2.
No one's embarrassing themselves.
No,
That's what's
Tyler's
exciting
got the
about
lead.
this.
3-2.
Got the odds wrong. I'm so pissed about that.
Little embarrassing about the music, Tyler.
For me?
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
Kurt
No, he's a
Cobain.
youngin'.
It's come on.
Rolling Stones? What year were they putting this music out?
But things did exist before you were born. That's kind of the point of college, is to gain knowledge
I
of
didn't
what
take a
happened
Rolling
before
Stones
your
class.
birth.
No one had heard of the Rolling Stones ever.
Yeah, like I wasn't alive when that song came out.
Neither was I.
I mean, that's like an 80-year-old song, like a 70-year-old song or something, 60 years old.
Never had a chance.
All right.
I bet you that's a 60-year-old song.
It
Yeah,
is.
Shame on my parents, honestly. They don't pay attention to media or anything like that, so I'm very deprived.
But they have to be academics then, right?
No. My mom went to school, but my dad didn't.
So what does he watch?
He's dead, but
Oh.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Fred.
well, I feel terrible.
No, big Sopranos guy back when he was, still
All right.
kicking.
So he was consuming pop culture.
Sure.
All right, very good. All right, let's move on.
All right, final round scoring before we head into the final phase of questioning.
Tyler 3, Bird 2.
Bird,
Yes.
your question in history.
Oh, yes. Give me a 2.
Name 2 countries on each side of World War II.
Japan, Germany, Italy. What allies are?
Yeah, and then
So you
name
2 from one side.
Two from one side. Name
name 2 from the other.
British. For America, it was America, British. Yeah, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
American and
You
British.
got it.
All right,
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Axis of evil. Italy.
I mean, we'll
Italy,
accept.
Germany, and
He
Japan.
threw Italy in there, which was
Unknown, but yes.
We'll accept British as a country.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
in Britain, the United States, you would say, I would think Jeopardy would demand, but America,
No,
because
it's
Canadians don't like that because we're all American.
We could not have planned this any better.
We're even.
What is the scoring right now?
We're tied at 3, headed to the last question.
The last question
This
for
is it.
Tyler Milliken
Yes.
in history. Who rode around Boston warning citizens that the British were coming?
Paul Revere.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Well,
Ice
listen,
in my veins.
well, thank you both for coming in.
Wow. It's fun.
Both of you, Tyler Milliken, as expected, you did win, but you won 4-3. So, Bird, not a bad showing. And even the ones you didn't get, you kind of knew. Like
You had Black Hole Sun.
Yes,
You
you
were
had
right there.
Soundgarden, and you knew it. And it's just when you're on the spot, it can be difficult to come up with stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question.
I'm proud of you, Bird.
I'm proud of both of you. You did very well.
I know.
Very, very well.
And Tyler is fresh out of college, by the way, so this should be fresh in his mind. Bird's been out for a while.
Let's not take away from what I just
No,
accomplished.
you
okay,
did
let him
win.
breathe for a minute.
But you know, Bird's my guy, Tyler. I
That's
do
fair,
appreciate
fair.
you coming in, but you know, Bird's my guy. I'm loyal to my guys.
A lot of people think you could be my father in some capacity. Like when they talk about physical appearance, I get the comp to you a lot.
That's a huge compliment.
That's
to
a
you, Fred.
huge compliment. You look so fresh.
You're welcome.
And you look exactly like my son. That's exactly how Milo looks. If you put the two of them together, go to @FredToucher, and I mean they really do look alike. How tall are you?
5'10".
Yeah, he's 6'3".
Damn.
And he can't grow facial hair. But other than that, all right, very good.
He called one of my cousin's softball games at Curry College. She broke her nose. He called that game.
Softball beat. My first 2 years of college. They wouldn't let me do baseball, so that's what I did.
All right. Well, listen, you both have achieved great things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Bird, is there anything? Tyler Milliken, of course, the Section 10 podcast. He's on the midday show here at the station, Zolak and Bertrand. And anything you got, Bird, that you want to promote?
No, nothing. I'm just working. I'm going to Florida next week to see my 91-year-old grandfather. Can't wait to see him. Shout out to Mike Halfelder, Jesse, and all those guys.
All right. Very good. All right.
Rolling.
Well, everyone loves Bird.
Good to see
Everyone
you
loves
guys.
Tyler Milliken. Congratulations to both of you.
Shout out to Dwayne.
And congratulations to colleges everywhere because you are the true victors today. Chris Forsberg is going to join us to talk about the Celtics and everything going on. Thank you, gentlemen. We will be right back.
Not going to it changes his preparation on a daily basis. So I want our guys to come into the arena every day thinking that their process is important towards winning. And they have to be ready to go. And they got to treat every single day, every single game as if they're going to impact winning. And by not telling them, it allows them to just treat every single day as if it's the most important day. And they do a great job of embracing that.
Chris Forsberg doesn't know what's going on.
That was the best. See you, Bert.
Bert came in and he's just one of those guys. Like, I don't hug a lot of guys. I have a few friends that I'll hug, and I see Bird twice a year.
Yep.
But you're in for the full hug. You're in for like we did cheek to cheek.
It's impossible.
He grabbed my breast.
It's impossible not to have a good time when he's around.
You are
He's
like very
fantastic.
close with him.
Yeah.
I'm finding out how much John and Bird are very close. They might be calling an Everett game together.
Yeah, he's going to do play-by-play. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
Everett, we're going to do community TV together.
One time he put a Facebook post about how he was doing an Everett high school game, so I just clicked on the Facebook post, and I was the only person on the YouTube feed, and I felt like really self-conscious because they can see.
Yeah.
And they would see that I was the one, so I immediately got out of it. I'm like, I can't be the only one. Chris Forsberg covers the Celtics for NBC Sports Boston. Talking Green with Chris Forsberg is presented by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn, and where Bird and Tyler Milliken did not go to school, in fairness to them. Hey, Mr. Forsberg, thank you for coming in.
It's great to be here.
All right, get that microphone a little closer to your face. If you want.
You got to turn
This is not TV where it is a lapel mic. This is this is old school broadcasting.
Into the thing. You know?
I'm sorry. Even at home, like I have this Yeti mic that when I zoom in with you guys, and if I put it too close, it's very loud.
I've seen those things. Is that made by the cooler company?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Can't be. They can't make coolers and microphones.
What if we could get like a combo cooler? Like when I'm doing podcasts from the road, I could have a cooler and a microphone.
Yeah, Yamaha makes pianos and motorcycles. Why can't it's called Blue Yeti.
You put a tariff on those people. You put a tariff on all that foreign business.
That's coming.
Well, I know. Like I'm a big fan of Ryobi tools, and they have coolers and stuff.
Oh my goodness, Hardy.
Are we both Ryobi guys or
So I recently had to make a decision as I was changing tool brands, and what I've ultimately decided is I'm just going to mix and match. I'm going to have a little bit of everything. Yeah, yes, you can.
No, too many colors. Like I need.
You know what it's like as a guy who also plays golf. You don't need all TaylorMade in the bag. You don't need to go soup to nuts, driver to putter, same brand.
One of the things in my life is like. I need everything. My wife has a Toyota. I need a Toyota. Like we're going to.
Are
the same
all your
dealership.
golf clubs from the same manufacturer?
Right now, they're not because I wrecked my last car. But normally we've always been to. I like because you going to the same service center. You know the people. But I'm not saying that's a deal breaker. But I will say like my golf bag is. I'm trying to think now. No, my wedges are not TaylorMade.
Okay. So that's one. But
controversial
for the tools,
it ruins the whole OCD vibe.
I mean,
yeah,
seriously.
I know. I'm breaking my own.
What's your main brand?
TaylorMade.
All right, TaylorMade. Get on these degree wedges. I mean, seriously, the man needs to get a flop shot.
I have a 60-degree wedge from when I was like 10 years old that I've never given up.
Yeah, because you like the feel
forever.
Yeah. When I went to PXG, they put a 62 in the bag for me. I said, "What's this for?" And they said,
"What a flex right
it's
there!
It's for fun."
He just went to like the upper level. Of
I can't hit it.
You got to drive, but you got to drive to get these things. That's out past me on Route 9. I know what that is.
Totally worth it. Now listen. And when it comes to the tools, and Fred, this is going to take a while. If you want to take a powder, we're gonna. When it comes to the tools,
yes.
I had people calling and emailing. It's one of the highest responses we've ever gotten on the show when we started talking about I was going to switch tool brands. And my main thing was, do I go 18, 20, 24, 40 volt, whatever, or do I stick with the real stuff?
What do you lean?
So I was convinced early on I was going to go battery for most of this stuff, and the guys were calling in. They're like, "Dude, you're not a contractor. You don't need it." And even the contractors use, for the most part, all this stuff. Now, chainsaws and things like that, I understand where gas is where it's at, and I still go gas in my line trimmer, leaf blower, things like that. But for the tools, guys said Milwaukee. Look, don't mess around. And my friends who really, really know, they're going to say, yeah, Milwaukee is where it's at. You can go to Walt. You can do Makita. I ended up not going one of these premium brands, Fred.
Thank God this isn't tomorrow.
That
you're doing this today.
No, it isn't. Well, you think I'm going to waste this when it's not the fall book? First day in radio, Fred? Just listen and learn.
I am, Milwaukee.
I ended up going Lowe's brand
Hachiman.
Why is your microphone on?
Cobalt for the hedge trimmer I purchased just this last weekend, and I think I'm going to get into the Cobalt family a little bit.
Two quick things, and then we can get into basketball.
No, take your time.
All right, good.
But the Ryobi stuff, they make so much stuff. I see it in Home Depot. I'm like, my God, if you can think of a tool that could take a battery, Ryobi makes it.
It's so amazing, and I'm like a completionist, so I need everything. Like I want, I've got one.
There's
now
the
I need,
OCD vibe I was looking for.
That's where
There it
The
is.
battery glue gun,
But
I saw that
Here's the
Ryobi
thing.
makes.
I'm going to sell you on 40 volt. I bought an auger to do some deck footings, and I was like, there's no way this is going to be powerful enough with a 40 volt battery. Oh my God,
Dude, how fast do you burn through that 40-volt battery, though? 15 minutes?
No, it didn't even dent the battery. I dug 3 8-foot holes in like 10 minutes. It ate through the ground like butter. And I was like at the core of the earth, and I was like, I got to get this thing back up. And
started hearing voices.
It really was.
Chinese.
But the best burn I've had recently, and I know, Fred, you like to say that everyone loves me, but so I was online. I said something on one of our shows. I said I love Ryobi tools, and someone said Spirit and Ryobi so on brand for Forsberg.
All right. Well, listen.
Send me free stuff, Ryobi.
That's what AM radio sounds like at 6 a.m. on a Sunday.
Kind of, you know what? That was a little sneak peek of what it's going to be like when Forsberg comes on the Sports Hub Golf Club. That type of back and forth, that type of good jazz you just heard. Wait for the spring, Sunday morning.
I'll come in every week if we can do tool talk.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, you guys certainly have that in common. Chris,
Jesus,
how much is the network, NBC Sports Boston, with which you work and cover the Celtics for, how upset are they that the Celtics now have officially been eliminated from the Dubai tournament?
I am personally frustrated because I wanted a free trip to Vegas, and I was going to lobby my bosses to go there. Look, I don't want to overstate how the importance of this tournament, but it was, to me, fun. I watched random games with no reason. The Knicks are up 30 points last night, and I am clinging on every Mo Wagner basket because it matters. And so I do think it was fun. I do wish we had I think back to that Indy game last year in the quarterfinals, and it was actually a fun watch, and they were fired up for it. So I think we're disappointed that there's not the magnitude of the matchup. And I mean, we get Detroit and Washington now, which is not the sexiest of opponents. All due respect to the Pistons, but I don't know. I am a little bit disappointed.
Okay. Do you think the team's disappointed?
God, no. I thought
even Cornette, because we looked at the salaries and there is a discrepancy.
No. So, and I said that all along. I thought it was important to the superstars who have all been paid. Like everyone 1 to 8 has a contract extension, but I think they wanted to reward Luke and Tillman in particular for coming back on cheap money, and they would have loved to get them that $500,000, whatever it is, and that would have mattered to them. It probably wasn't enough to motivate them to go to another level or lock into the level they needed to against the Hawks, but I do think they would have liked to have rewarded those guys, and I do think they would have liked to go to Vegas. What NBA player doesn't like to go there, especially when the schedule would have been pretty spaced out. But yeah, I don't think they're sitting at home going, "Oh, I can't believe we're not going." It's just
right.
There's 2 games in 11 days now, so you're going to get some rest.
Yeah, it's just that when there's that financial discrepancy, like someone's making, I don't know, 500 times what you're making.
But I think it's
you're like, dude, hustle.
Yeah,
like I'm trying to get this money, or at least give me 500,000. It's nothing to you.
Right.
Just give it to me, even if we don't win.
I do
it's
think
your
it's
fault.
Interesting though. NBA players, they're just like us. They're looking for an excuse to go to Vegas. You know that, and for you too, Chris. I would have felt the same way. It's like I don't really care if they win or lose the tournament, but it's a work-sponsored, essentially, trip to Vegas. Yeah,
And that's
I wanna
why they
go.
have it in Vegas. I'm sure is partially the incentive of
Well,
being
what's
there.
going to be weird is once Vegas gets a team, which is coming sooner than later, and like, will we still go there for summer league and this tournament and all that, or will they take it somewhere else? But yeah, like I think Vegas is a pretty popular spot for NBA players in general, and as we brace for snow, I was just maybe I could get one more December golf round out there.
The two of you, why don't you just make out already?
All right.
I mean, I shouldn't even say that because it cheapens this and makes it sexual.
we became best friends a few minutes ago, and it's just it's
Now
it's
he's just tickling you.
Now it's just like an easy brotherhood that we have going on.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to say that. I was like,
Can I?
I didn't become more enamored with him. It's like I can finish this guy's.
I fell in love with Hardy long ago when I was like listening to Lithium, and then I was like, that can't be the same guy. Can't be. And then I was like, wait, oh. Then I found out all the tricks of the trade.
Oh, baby doll.
Oh, you thought the satellite DJs were live? Like they were sitting there playing songs?
Or in an actual studio?
Even I knew that.
I've now heard stories.
Hardy rubs one out and then puts up a different app on his computer, and then it does it in 5 seconds.
Point and click, kid.
You don't ruin the experience for me. I like to believe that they're up on the timely topics.
Oh, and selecting the songs while we're at it. Yes.
Yeah.
What should I play now?
What was it? Madison was what was her name?
Yeah, she's still on.
Is she still there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not listening enough because I get to hear
Well,
Hardy over here.
Go to the holiday party when they all get together. I'll tell you. I'll tell you who's live though. That Eddie Trunk.
Yep.
3 to 5.
Yep.
Even though you said you're out on Eddie Trunk.
I am. But he had Sebastian Bach on the other day.
Oh, so you tap back in for.
I'm going to challenge how much of satellite radio is trying, because it seems like they have an awful lot of options that aren't really options. I think they've kind of just piled in. I don't think the internet's doing them any favors. They don't seem to be trying, is what I'm saying.
Were they trying before?
They signed Stern to like the biggest media deal of all time, and then after that, I think they just kind of went, eh.
They go after top tier talent like me, and you say that's not trying?
They hired you when?
2016.
That's 8 years ago, baby. The business has changed since then, so it's no insult to you, my friend.
Okay.
I'm not losing. Look, I know Forsberg has passed me, but John and I are hanging on by a thread here. We're trying to keep you on our team. All right, we got Chris in studio. We can talk. We'll talk about the Celtics or whatever they want to talk about. These two.
Yeah,
these
we
two crazy
really
kids.
should sit the next breakout too. Watching the chemistry fly, it's electric.
So next
It's
time you're in
crackling
Vegas,
back and forth.
Forsberg and Hardy, it's got a ring to it.
Paiute. It's 54 holes.
Ooh.
It's north of the strip. It's going to take you a while to get there.
And it's
but
the
it's a
hottest
mecca.
strip club in town.
It's an oasis.
It's an oasis. All right, there are so many girls. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
This is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
I was playing every off day anyway, so any moment I had a chance to play and I was ready to play. So if he said I was playing that day, then I was super excited to play. But it wasn't like I wasn't playing on non-game days and preparing myself for the moment. Been preparing myself for this moment for a long time.
Who is this again?
The guy was speaking or the music?
No, the music. I know
Calm
the guy was speaking.
Trues is the name of the artist, electronic artist. Calm Trues, like a take on Tom Cruise.
Starting to get to me a little bit.
Like in a good way?
Yeah.
Okay, because people ask for it. They like this one. So thank you.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants to give you the gift of travel this holiday season. Be listening at 8:50 or whatever for your chance to score a $100 Visa gift card for your holiday events and travels without worrying about the price of gas. Visit the contest page on 985thesportshub.com for another chance to win. Chris Forsberg from NBC Sports Boston, the great Celtics reporter, is in here. And Jonathan, we were just listening to whom?
We were just listening to Peyton Pritchard, and the argument has been for the last couple of weeks.
I should have known you'd jump on this.
Just how good is Peyton Pritchard? I think we can agree that he's the best bench player in the NBA right now. He's far and away the best bench scorer in the league right now. But the question is, if you put him on another team, like you saw what happened to Jordan Poole, and he went from Golden State to Washington and disappeared, if you put Pritchard in that situation, how good would he be?
All I know is that ever since we had that conversation last week, and I hedged on it, I was like, I don't know, I'm with Fred. Like, it could be difficult for a smaller guard to elevate, and now he scored 20 plus in 4 straight games, and it looks really good. Same deal. I don't know. It's hard. He's thriving in his role,
and he's playing a lot, and they're playing their bench a ton. Like
by design.
And it's smart, and it's a great luxury to have.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're playing 9/10 guys off their bench,
with the
and winning by like 25.
With the exception of the game in Cleveland the other night,
right, where they couldn't,
where Missoula went all in and lost.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Pritchard got minutes in that game too, obviously. But like, I would make the argument that he's the leader in bench scoring in the league because of just how dominant the Celtics are.
Fair, but also, I thought when Hauser missed a couple games start of the year with the back injury, and I thought once he came back, I thought maybe that would pull Peyton back to earth a little bit, and it really hasn't happened. He's been really good. His minutes have stayed up because, as you said, they're leaning into it. They've been missing some guys the last few games. So I do think there's just a roadmap for him to keep this up, to be Sixth Man of the Year. The one thing I just keep, whenever I'm watching these games now, I'm like, man, Brad Stevens, we always praise GMs when they make good moves. Danny Ainge used to say all the time, the best deals are the ones you don't make. And you think about Justice Winslow and what they would have given up for that. Yeah. And, thank God Brad didn't trade him. Like when Peyton was disgruntled, and who knows what you would have got. Probably not a lot at that point. And now you have a guy who, and I'll keep saying this, as Drew Holiday gets older, there's going to be a point where Peyton might be your starter on this team, and we'll find out. Maybe that will finally answer the question of how good he can be as a starter. But he's been awesome.
Yeah. Yep. There's just guys that play I love Xavier Tillman. I loved him in college, but he wasn't a great college player. There's just guys on this team I'm not sure are playing other places, and it sounds odd because they're such a dominant team. But I think that's the reason they play. Go ahead.
There's this weird thing with Pritchard too, where I wonder how long it's going to last because we've seen him hit the buzzer beaters, and you see him, Tatum find him like he did last week for the, on the coast to coast after Horford gets the rebound. Tatum takes it all the way down court. He gets into the lane, and then Pritchard's all alone behind the 3-point line. We've seen those shots, but Pritchard will also drive the lane himself. Mm-hmm. He'll get inside. He'll make layups and we asked Max about this a few weeks back. I said, I don't think teams are expecting it. And it's like they're expecting him to take the buzzer beater or maybe be out on the perimeter for a shot. At what point do teams pick up on the fact, that guy will also drive the lane on us? And if they start picking up on that, how much less effective does he become?
He's shooting 70% at the rim this season, which is actually down from last year.
It's just crazy.
Usually the shortest guy on the court isn't one of your best rim finishers, but right now he is. And that's one of the blessings of him is that he knows he's very controlled. The other thing for me is sometimes you wander into those trees and you turn the ball over. I think he's if not one of the best point guards. I think he's only behind Maxey in terms of turnover percentage. He's just super steady. Like, he does everything really well, and there are limitations. I looked at the defensive numbers this morning. Like, for the season, he's pretty much allowing opponents what they average, which is like, okay. You don't want to be above that. You'd love to be 5% less or whatever. But over the last 5 games, it's at like minus 13.4%. And so he's doing everything. He's defending. Guys think they can go at him and realize it's a little bit more difficult than you think. The same way they do it when they go at Hauser and everybody else. And like, he's going to the basket. He's diversifying how he's scoring. I'm really impressed. Let's put it that way. Same deal. I don't have any reason to believe it's going to fade, but if he continues to do this through, and I keep saying like, oh well, Porzingis is back. His minutes are going to go down. His production will go down. There'll be quieter nights, but this little stretch to do it 4 games in a row, I think the number is, Kevin McHale did it 5 straight games, 20-plus points. Bird did it 8. I don't even remember Bird coming off the bench, but I guess he did it for like the end of the 82 season. I mean, Pritchard's in some rarefied air.
I think we get now to the point where we're just nitpicking because this team is so good. They're 17-4, and they're really not, for lack of a better phrase, trying. They're not playing Porzingis back-to-back. They're not playing Horford back-to-back. Drew Peterson is a two-way player. You know what? Let's try this guy. And you know what? He was a scorer. He was a scorer in the G League, so we'll try him, and it hasn't hurt them at all. So now all we're left to do is kind of wonder, okay, when will they start trying? When will Porzingis actually start playing more? Right now he's getting the Horford treatment, but Porzingis is another guy who hit the ground running the second he came in.
Yeah, and so I think the luxury of bringing him back when you did, and I don't know if they could have projected this. I think they knew the schedule would be lighter in those December months because of this NBA Cup. But, okay, so you can play him. He'll play tonight. He'll play probably Friday or Saturday. And then he'll play in the 2 games over the 11-day span. But you're essentially going to play him, trying to do quick math, 6 games over what amounts to a 3-week stretch, 3.5-week stretch.
Yeah.
So you're easing him back in, and I guess that by the time you get towards Christmas and into January and the doldrums of the season, you can pull that ripcord a little bit more. But yeah, like, he's looked really good early, and I think that minute total is only going to go up. And that first game against the Clippers just showed how different they can be when he's out there.
So now we're looking at opponents. I mean, you saw Cleveland the other night. They
Yeah.
sure looked good. They've looked good early in the season and faded before, and we saw what was left of them in the playoffs last year. Do you think Cleveland will be there at the end to face this team?
Yeah, and the only reason I would have loved to have seen them healthy at the end of last season and just see if that would have narrowed the gap anyway. I still think they were just a little too young. But when you see what Mitchell can do, they have that one guy who at the end of a playoff game can just take over. And he did that, before he got there, and he just knew that it was going to translate there. And I think that's huge for a young team because, our Mobleys of the world and the Garlands ready for that stage. They'll probably play pretty well overall. But I do think you need someone like Donovan Mitchell who can take over. So to me, they're still the number 2 team behind the Celtics in the East overall. Obviously, they're at the top of the standings right now. Curious to see what the Bucks look like later this week on Friday. They've been playing better. I still think they're old. I'm not terribly worried about that, but undeniably they're leaning into some of their younger players. Knicks looked good last night, but in a vacuum, I got to see them by the end of the year. Still a lot to be determined. The East it's so funny. Everyone told me the East was so much better coming into the year.
Well, Philadelphia, I mean, that kind of changes things.
Yeah.
I mean, Philadelphia might, if the season obviously ended now, they would not make the playoffs.
Christmas got a little less interesting, but I mean, it's still Embiid, and it's.
Do you have to cover the Christmas game? Are they making you cover the Christmas game?
I believe I'm just in studio that day.
You have to go in studio.
Yeah, we don't bring the whole crew. I don't think because it would be
How cruel! How cruel to them to make you do a studio show on Christmas.
I still get to wake up. The years we were on the road was tough. I had to make a decision when I was at ESPN whether I wanted to go to like Orlando. And that I was like, they were kind enough to let me to sit that out. But yeah,
I'm with you, especially when you have young kids. Christmas is over by 10 a.m.
Well, no, Christmas is over when I say it's over, and I don't say it's over till February. Well, listen, the two of you are thick as thieves. You should have heard Forsberg and Hardy during the break. They were talking about golf in Vegas.
We might just go on our own.
Hardy was telling a story about the drone at the place that brought the guy the sandwich. He was doing with the
Not a
cherry.
drone. Oh my God, it's not tacky. No, there's a waiter who came out on his own golf cart.
Oh, a waiter that came out with his own golf cart. He was telling that story. He had everything rolling.
I'm happy that the two of you have found each other.
I mean, they really have.
That's great.
I mean, tools and golf. I mean, these are middle-aged white men. I mean, there's no question about it.
I used to be so young.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
It's not like I'm old. I just don't like tools. That's all.
So, I mean, I don't want to blow up your break here, but like 5 years ago, I had never thought I was the least handy person ever. My buddy Sean helped me build a bar, and I was like, oh, this is fairly easy. And now, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I'm good at it. It's still like if someone came over and tried to check the code on it, they'd be like, ugh. But
yeah, did you call DigSafe before you dug those 8-foot
zero
holes?
chance before I dug to the core of the earth that I called anybody.
Oh boy.
If you were lingering around that
This might be
scene,
a deal breaker for Hardy.
if you were Hardy's
procedure.
neighbor, what are the chances you would have asked Chris if you were his neighbor if he called DigSafe?
I 100% would have said it. And number two, you missed an opportunity to call DigSafe. That's part of the fun.
Do you get a human when you call DigSafe?
Yes.
No, you
like
don't.
immediate?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
Immediately they pick it up. They don't have this automated
They
press
ask you-
1, press 2.
They ask you what you're doing and where it's going to be happening.
Oh,
you
those are
describe
th-
the project.
Let me
th-
check
those
out
are-
the map.
Those are kicking stones on the dirt roads conversations. Those can go for a while. Listen, were your dads like that?
My dad was known as like the least handy one of the family because his brothers worked in the automotive industry,
Right.
Or at least my uncle Larry did,
Right.
and like all the cousins and stuff, they could all literally build cars and do all that stuff. My dad was the joke. Now I think in terms of being like handy, he was still pretty handy, but by their standards, he was not.
My father was the best person on earth, but he did not own a hammer.
Yeah, my dad did not own tools. He just fretted about money and paced around the house obsessively. That's what my father did. And smoked in bed.
And he passed that on to you.
You go to my parents' house and you stay there for 3 days, you can literally feel tension. Like there is a vibration. If you don't believe there's like a vibe in rooms, there is like a level of anxiety, and I love them too. I like going there, but there is this like almost pitch of anxiety that's you can't hear it. There's vibrations you can't hear. There is like a real thing. If I'm there for 3 days, I start getting like tightened and anxious.
Yeah.
Does he pace in the same spot?
No, he takes this old school medicine now, and he doesn't do it anymore. And he doesn't have a real job, so he doesn't do it anymore. But he, for 10 years, would pace around in a circle.
I can't wait to be
around
old.
and around and around. Pace around, worrying. Pacing around, complaining.
That's not fun.
No, just chain smoking merits.
That's why you golf. You got to get a hobby.
Yeah, he didn't have anything. He didn't have anything but pacing. He loved to pace. And then he loved to put C-SPAN on as loud as it would go in bed and just smoke cigarettes. Smoke 18 packs of merits a day. All right. The Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants to give you the gift
Good
of
times.
travel this holiday season. Car number 10 in the contest line, 617-931-0985. Will score a $100 Visa gift card
I
for your
in the call?
holiday events and travels without worrying about the price of gas. Visit the contest page at 985thesportshub.com for another chance to win. Listen, we're very late, but Chris Forsberg, thank you so much for coming.
2 as the team's interim head coach.
It was a low-event game for a while there. Second period got a little interesting. We took 2 penalties back-to-back, and then there was a 4-on-4, so it picked up a little bit from there. You know, you just stay with it in those type of games. You try not to deviate from what you're trying to implement.
Pavel Zacha scored the game winner in OT, and they're right back at it tonight. The Bruins are in Chicago. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics had last night off. They played Detroit at TD Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 over on 105.7 WROR. Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday are both questionable. Tatum yesterday voted the Eastern Conference's Player of the Month for November. Patriots are without linebacker Jelani Tavai and left tackle Verdarian Lowe at their lone bye-week practice yesterday. Red Sox have signed Pittsburgh free agent closer Aroldis Chapman to a one-year $10.75 million contract. And UMass has a new head football coach this morning. ESPN is reporting they're closing in on a 5-year contract with Rutgers defensive coordinator Joe Harris-Simiak. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Celebrate the seasons at the Nines with their incredible New York strip and lobster casserole. A flame-broiled 8-ounce New York strip paired with delicious lobster casserole. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
New England plays here.
Down the right side, there's a separation. Touchdown pass. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's called rising and grinding.
Start your
Got
day.
your finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Brinkett goes back behind the Detroit net, and then he goes down. Bruins have it. Pasternak back across. They score. Pavel Zacha one times it into the net. Husso is barking mad at the official. The Bruins win it 3-2 in overtime.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube 24 hours a day, but you can watch us live if you put in 98.5 The Sports Hub in the YouTube. And you subscribe to the channel, and then we're in your algorithm. And so we will have no cold plunge content. It will be if you're a male of a certain age. I'm sure you're getting a lot of cold plunge advocates. But I do like the sauna. And there are some real health benefits to that, I will tell you that. In fact, there was an article about how the Bruins are all using the sauna, and the Finnish players are like, dude, come on. We've been at this for a while. Billy Jaffe knows all about it when he's not working for Nesson. He is working as a co-host of the Morning Brew podcast. He is in beautiful, what it is in Jersey? Where are you? Where Secaucus. You're in Secaucus.
Yes.
Secaucus, and that's not New Jersey. That's New York, right? Or is
No,
that
it's New Jersey. Trust me, it's New Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah, Secaucus is where the cheap land is, where they would put TV stations in that's
There's
where
a lot of TV stuff around this
Yes,
area.
because-
there are major places.
Yeah, because you can see Manhattan from it, but there's that pesky water separating you from it. And so they all decided, like,
Yes.
let's get adjacent to New York City. Let's not
I'm
buy.
trying to escape Secaucus. I've got a flight coming up in an hour and 45 minutes. So as soon as I'm done with you, I'm back home.
So you're that close to the airport?
Yeah, well, and I don't carry anything with me. So I just, I can run through. As long as I'm there about 50 minutes ahead, I can get right through them. 20 to 25 minutes to Newark Airport. I take the shuttle back and forth.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very, that's good to know. All right. Well,
Yes.
listen.
Have you ever done by the way, the saunas in Finland? Have you ever been to Finland?
No.
I'm being serious. It's
No.
awesome. It's quite the experience. I was more of a steam guy before, and then I went to Finland a few years ago. And I got to tell you what, they do it right there, and you feel unbelievable. You got to go hot to cold, cold to hot. It's great.
I do that.
So-
You can do that at Lifetime. You
I
can
know,
go hot
I
to
know.
cold.
Yeah,
cold
but
to
it's
hot.
not the Baltic Sea, so don't say it's that.
No,
Well,
it's not.
different.
It's in Newton, though, or Chestnut Hill, which is
which is very similar.
Yeah.
How do they do it different?
It's just I don't know. It's just it's
There's
like
beer.
It's like the Ritz Carlton of there's a lot of everything. It's everywhere. First of all, Hardy, and it's just the saunas are just. I mean, it's just ingrained in there, and they've got a whole routine, and They say you got to do this, you got to do that, and then you jump in the sea, you come back out, and they swear by it, and they say it, for the body, for the mind, for the heart, that it's great. So, anyways, it's fun, and it was a good experience. But
why were you in Finland, Billy?
Just to try the salmon soup, the fish soup.
Why were you in Finland, Billy?
I was working. I was coaching a team there.
Did you get paid to coach that team?
I do. I did.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't your kid's team?
Well, he was there too.
Oh, they paid? Wow, Billy. Imagine that. That's nice.
I thought it was a tournament for your son in Finland.
Do you know in Finland they carry this Jägermeister stuff on them because it's dark 23 hours a day in the winter.
In the winter it is.
And
dark
so they're just consistently drunk. I have a friend that lives in Finland. Big fella. Played at Notre Dame, basketball at Notre Dame. Uh-huh.
Did he? Yeah. Happiest country in the world, they say, and that's the joke there by our tour guide was because everybody is always enjoying something to get them through the darkness of winter.
Yeah, he said it took a while to get used to the open consumption. He said it's like New Orleans, except sad, in the winter. He said in the summer, everyone's great. It's light for 23 hours. In the winter, it's just cold and dark. That's why they do the sauna. Go ahead.
Yes, it's part of it. Yeah, the kids are having a great time all summer because, like you said, 11 o'clock at night, they're riding scooters, playing ball, etc. Right. So
perpetually half in the wrapper, so you just feel good all the time.
The drinking age, I'm sure, is very, very liberal there. All right,
drinking age?
Yeah, that's right. Billy Jaffe, the Bruins yesterday. That was terrible game. Yeah, terrible. But they did win.
Yep.
They're playing well. They're winning games since the coaching change. I'll ask you the obvious and just ask you what you are seeing differently. Is this team different?
Yeah, I mean it is for the most part. They're I think we talked about this last week, Fred. They're so much engaged, more engaged defensively. Layers. They're trying, although
last night I don't know.
I was about to say, you've had a few games, including last night, where you start to lose some of that structure. And playing defense isn't easy regularly at any pro level. It's the hardest thing. I mean, scoring goals is hard too, but having to constantly play defense, if you have good layers, you got good sticks, it helps. Thought the Bruins kind of got out of coverage a couple of times. Korpisalo was good. So what's better? Nikita Zadorov talks, post-game about playing for each other more, playing with more passion. I do think I've seen it, but there is some more, for the most part, over the 7 games. 5 of the 7, definitely more structure. The penalty kill definitely been better, and that started to turn when Montgomery was there a little still, but it's gotten much better. I think it's 9 of the last 10, if I remember correctly. They've only given up 1 power play goal. So there's a focus, a determination, little tweakage here and there, but obviously the elephant in the room is goal scoring right now.
Why can't they score? What's different? Why can't they score goals?
Well, why can't they? What's different? They weren't scoring much before either. What's
different from prior teams?
They're, first of all, they they don't seem to have the puck movement like they've had before. Maybe that is the different style of team that they constructed for now. A bigger team, a team that plays they're playing more of a style of volume shot, Fred, that I think does benefit this team more, which means they get their butts to the front of the net. They use the back of the net more. They use the, more wall play, but you're not zipping the puck around. And I think we're seeing that not happen on the power play too. Those guys are really struggling. So scoring becomes a confident thing, but also I think it becomes perhaps it's a little bit different skill level type of thing. And they have to, and I don't think this is, I know that this is something they knew that they would have to address. So I don't know. I want to say this isn't a surprise. I do think they thought they would score more goals than what they've done so far. But I think they also knew that they would have to address this in season to try and get somebody to help out. The team offensively, I like the simplification when they do it, but at times they still don't get enough offensive zone time and enough chances. I mean, over the last 7 games under Sacco, there have been some chance. The Vancouver game arguably was their best offensive game, and they end up not scoring that game. Go figure.
I'm wondering, because the thing that's going to keep the Bruins going is secondary scoring. You can't have Pasternak and Marchand drag this team throughout the regular season. And I'm looking at guys like Justin Brazeau and Cole Koepke, and they're both contributing. You saw Brazeau contribute last night. And if you look historically at these two guys, this scoring has come out of nowhere. Do you think the Bruins can lean on these two guys for secondary scoring as we move through the season?
It's a great point about those two guys, because I was going over, Johnny, the players that have what you would say have fulfilled their roles for this team so far. And that was two of the 4 or 5 guys that I looked at and said that they've really fulfilled their roles. I mean, early in the season, by the way, Brazeau was having a hard time getting up to speed, so to speak, and then he talked about it, sat out, now he's back. Look, Brazeau's always been a scorer wherever he's been. Koepke is a little bit more of a surprise. Now, did I think that Brazeau, would flourish? Well, I hope that a full year in the NHL, we would see what he's about. He's doing his job. Can they survive with that? Probably, in my eyes, probably not. It's obvious. They need David Pastrnak. They need Pavel Zacha to get going. But Pastrnak is the key cog, and while he is producing points, he is not recording the goals that we're used to seeing off of his stick. His unbelievable shot has been inconsistent, and it hasn't been as accurate. And look, we know that he's going to miss the net at times when you take the volume of shots like he normally does. That's just part of the biz. We know he's going to give the puck away at times because you hold on to it so much too when you're the star. But it's still very different look, at least by my eye test, and I know others too, that they need him. So, John, no, I don't think they can survive. Secondary scoring alleviates the pressure on the top guys, but you still need the top guys to produce more, and the Bruins are going to need that.
Do you think you've seen enough under the way they're playing now under Sacco to think they could be reverting back to that thing that Fred especially talked about at the beginning of the season, where the team was more built for like a playoff-style game, where you're not going to need a ton of goals scored. You're going to need to limit the goals scored against you. And defensively, I think that's been the biggest change in how they're playing. Have you seen enough of that to think, well, maybe they are built that way and they could succeed?
Not yet. I need to keep seeing it against even some better competition. That's going to be the test. I do like seeing that the structure overall has been good, at times great. I do like seeing that they are playing with a more, I'd say, snarl to their game. Yep. And they're, in Hardy, again, good point. They're getting to their bigger identity, but they're not where I feel like, I don't think they're anywhere close where they would say the same thing. We've got so much growth to go. So Have I seen enough? No, not yet. I mean, not to say that I feel like playoffs success is a given. What I need to see is this team. Let's not forget they're missing Hampus Lindholm. That will help on the back end. At least it should when he gets healthy. He's still out a couple of more weeks with that knee injury. You got to find somebody else for the top 6, Hardy. You have to, because you have to round that out to make that stronger, more dangerous of a top 6. And once I see a few more pieces and I see them consistently limit middle of the ice, between the dots plays. We saw a couple of those last night happen. Then I'll be, I think, more on board of, yes, I've seen enough. It's better. I'm happy for them. I'm really happy that they are getting the depth guys. And that includes Jonas Korpisalo, who played beautifully again last night, playing well. But is it enough? Not yet. Not yet. Still ways to go.
Yeah. And it's going to be weird what they can do at the deadline, given that you're really in
a what they're really in the middle here. I don't know
you're really
which way you go with this.
Well, the good news is you're right. I mean, we got a ways to go still for it, but can you be proactive and do something? I don't know. I mean, there's other teams out there right now who seem to be, the New York Rangers say they're wide open for trade. They've got you want to talk about starting out well, and now it feels like an absolute mess in Manhattan right now with that team. And I mean, could you figure something out? I'm just saying hypothetically, there are a couple of other teams that seem to be in this very similar malaise. Well, the Bruins are out of the malaise. Let me rephrase it. That are in a situation where they need to or want to make something happen. The question is, what kind of thing can you pull due to the salary cap? What can you pull off right now? The cap's going up next year, and that's great. That maybe helps you move something closer to the trade deadline, but it makes it harder to make a move right now.
One more quick thing, Billy, and it's just a weird question. Fred and I were batting around in the first hour. The Bruins have played 27 games. That's 4 more than Tampa Bay. The New Jersey's played 28. How can you account for the discrepancy for this? I mean, this is just very strange.
It is. I mean, the Four Nations Cup, the event that's coming to Boston in February, it's like an Olympic year, which, by the way, we're going to have an Olympic year next year. So it means a condensed schedule, and specifically why have the Bruins and Devs played more? I don't, Johnny, that I don't have the answer to. I guess the good news is they're going to get some rest down the road compared to some other teams. It is different in the sense, you look at points percentage more so than you look at total points. But on the other hand, you say get through this time of, I mean, these games are coming fast and furious. It's like no rest, right? Maybe you get through this, you can get some rest, you get healthy, you can make something happen, and maybe that leads to something good down the road. But there's no exact reason except for the fact it's just who the Bruins are playing, and maybe it's home building availability right now. I haven't really dove into it that much, but definitely the Four Nations shutdown, which happens mid-Feb, has had an impact.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Billy, get to the airport. It's enough already. You're pushing it. All right, Billy. All right, Billy.
Good.
Billy Jaffe, listen to him on the Morning Brew podcast, also on Nesson. Billy, appreciate it.
See you guys.
All right, take it easy. There you go. Billy Jaffe, really pushing things, seeing if he. But that's, you know what? There's a flight every hour, so let's not.
He's not worried.
Let's not cry for him. If he's diamond status, stay.
How are you on airport arrival? I mean,
early, very early, because something stressful is going to happen 50% of the time. Best not have to worry about the time. For instance, went to flying back from Detroit. My kids, I used miles to book them. They were separate from me. They're minors traveling. I have to check them in. I get to the Delta line, Diamond, and the woman goes, "Hey, you don't have to do this." And I go, "No, I assure you I do. I did it coming here. I have to do this." And she goes, No. Just go to the electric, the kiosk. So I go. It's on the other side of the terminal. I go to the kiosk, and I can't check them in. So I come back, and she's like, "Sir, you don't have to do it." And I'm like, "I do," and I just barged through her. And because now I'm annoyed at her, but I don't want to cause a scene.
Sure.
And
you've already been kicked off a flight. You don't want to be kicked out of an airport.
Kaboom. I know that there's no, you can't say how you feel. That is a no-no. So I stood in line. Like when someone won't move for your kid, you can't go, "Hey, jackass, move."
Right.
That they don't like that. So but I'm in line and it's not moving. They have one person working. This priority line. Priority, it's a shorter line, but there's nobody working it. And so I look at my watch. We got an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh boy.
I'm like, we're fine. I'm like, we're fine.
I can safely say I would not have left for the airport yet.
Jeez.
Yeah, I get there early.
Yeah,
I leave 2 hours before the flight.
My
for domestic.
Oh my God. No, my
I like the airport.
It's almost my goal to walk up to the gate as my boarding group is being called.
No, I like the airport. And I can get into the crown room. I feel like Big Shot. Charge everything up. If I get stuck, I talk to the ladies at the desk. No Diamond.
Just kind of
They got to talk to me.
Yeah.
When the woman's cleaning the bathroom and she goes, "Get out!" as happened in Detroit, even though there's no sign saying not to go to the bathroom. It's a bit of an issue. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment with our world-famous email segment.
The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, what's up? We're Toucher and Hardy, and you can contact us by going to 985thesportshub.com and doing a little research, thank you. But I will tell you this. You can follow us. I don't think Twitter is for long, but while we're hanging on by a thread with the Twitter, at Toucher and Hardy, but what seems like what's going on is Instagram, where we're at Toucher and Hardy and at Fred Toucher, where I continue to gain a following to rival Kendra's, and then I will, at that point, reap the spoils of having many, many followers on Instagram, which is the plan. I will start cutting together fast-paced videos of my experiences at various haunts around the metro area.
Or maybe just getting ready to go out to those haunts.
Hey, I can put together an outfit. You don't think I can put together an outfit? You don't think that I got shoes?
What do you call it? Tonight's not drip.
Fit.
Tonight's
fit.
I have a lot of sneakers, and they match clothes that I wear.
Good.
Don't you worry.
Good.
Earth tones.
Show you putting on the aftershave, right? Yeah, you're doing.
Boom, boom.
Look at that.
I ain't lying.
He's got it going today.
Ain't lying. Different shades of blue, baby.
Well done.
Monochromatic.
Little boy blue.
And he pulled it all together with
females
the
will go like, oh, monochromatic, and I'll go.
pulled it
I
all
go.
together.
I don't know how to match clothes.
You got the Hawaiian blue. Yeah,
You better.
look good.
Well, I love the Honolulu blue.
Honolulu
Don't tell me that a Honolulu blue ain't the best.
Oh,
color
it's
in
the
all
best blue.
sports. It's
Right
the best.
now.
That's
blue.
the best blue.
Right now it is. Yep.
Yeah. There you go. All right. What do you have for me, gentlemen? Tell me now. I mean, there's
All
so
right.
many people that probably want to talk tools with you. It's probably coming out your ears.
Well, there is Bruins Luchador. It says, Ryobi being Forsberg's tool of choice says everything you need to know about Ryobi. It's Milwaukee. Not about Forsberg, but about Ryobi. It's Milwaukee or bust. The same battery that powers my drills heats my sweatshirt. It should be noted that Forsberg was also wearing a heated vest today. Did you notice that?
That was a heated vest?
That was a heated vest he was wearing today. Yep.
Oh wow.
What
Down vest with a battery pack.
How about that?
What's wrong with him?
Well, he's a slight fellow, so
I mean,
he probably
really is
gets
slight.
cold.
He is slight. I mean, there might be an iron deficiency, which is what the women they say. The women get cold iron deficiency.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Huh.
In the need to complain.
But they're out there. Who's talking batteries, vest batteries with Forsberg out in the hallway there? Was it Bird?
That almost seems like a Spencer's gift thing
I
that
brought it up
wouldn't
here.
really exist.
No, it's a thing. Milwaukee, I think they are like the nice version of that.
Why would a heated vest though? Like why just the center? Like your extremities are what gets cold.
It's used mostly for people that are doing out like skiing and snowboarding. Like it's good to have if you're going to be out on the mountain for 3-4 hours
or
to have
outdoor,
that as an underlayer.
Outdoor work, and
Yeah.
it heats the back of your like shoulders and neck, and I think up on in your chest.
Well, I'm aware that it's a vest and where it would heat you. It seems like your extremities would be the most. If you get frostbite, it's in your extremities.
Yeah.
And
right,
that
but it's all
doesn't
about
cover
keeping
any
that
of
core.
them.
It's about keeping that core temperature high. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but your fingers still get frostbite.
Yeah.
Come on, Adam. Adam
that's what the
walks
little-
in the reservoirs. Where do you walk, Adam?
Well, you know I was walking yesterday. I made a little video.
You
of
made
it.
a video. I didn't quite understand what was going on, but you made a video.
So
and
one of the places that I enjoy hiking and walking, there was a landscaping crew out, and
Yeah.
they had their.
Why
truck
is it a hike
on the
and not a
path.
walk?
The way that I look at it is if it takes a while and it's got elevation and it's in the woods.
Elevation is the key to adding the word hike.
Because you wear a lot of clothes.
Well, I
like
just
they're
had a
not
jacket
workout.
on.
Yeah, but they're not workout clothes. You wear like a button-down shirt.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just going. I don't.
So
think
it
I
ain't
need
really
a
exercise, baby.
separate-
If you can wear dungarees, it
Oh,
ain't
I see.
exercise.
So it's only exercise if I have to change my clothes.
Yes.
That's silly. But what's
just
not?
like guys who coach basketball in jeans. Get them off.
No, I
You're in
would
a gym.
I would never. But yes, there were gentlemen doing some landscaping, and they had dropped their rake on the path because they were working their way up the path. So I decided this is an opportunity.
It wasn't a rake, dumbass. It was a pitchfork. but
Pitchfork. Sorry.
continue.
Yes, it was a pitchfork, and I did say that
Were they
correctly.
baling
in the video.
hay?
No, they were putting in plants along this hiking trail, and then putting
He doesn't know what they were doing.
No, they were. I was watching them.
Why were
not
they
as much
putting
as you would.
plants in the winter? Wouldn't they all die?
No, they were
Are they
putting,
some
and
misguided
they-
hippies?
They
Were
were
you at a
mulching around them.
commune?
No, they had like a legitimate outfit, but
sure.
I handed
It's
them their
probably
pitchfork.
marijuana plants.
And I said, and I immediately, I wanted to maybe do a little bit of the Hardy bit and linger, but I felt uncomfortable the moment I spoke to these men. So I don't understand how Hardy can just walk up to strangers.
If
and,
English
strike a
was being
conversation.
spoken, that's the most Massachusetts thing of all time. If you went up to that crew and English was being spoken, it's the most Massachusetts thing of all time.
I don't blame you for feeling awkward because you're probably still wearing that stupid farmer's market knit cap that you were wearing yesterday.
How dare you?
I would be, I would be reluctant to speak to anybody while wearing that thing.
It's a winter hat. I have a series of winter hats. I'm
Yeah, they
outside
trade 'em
and
at
they
the
keep
library.
my head
Yeah,
warm.
but that skull cap thing that somebody made for like a 5th grade art project.
Yeah,
like
and then,
you-
and then
the one I had on the other day. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's legitimately what that is.
Yeah.
I stole it from my kid when they were in
Yeah,
grade
so-
school.
you don't wear it.
Why?
You lost and found at the elementary school.
But it's the perfect, like, it's
No,
the perfect
it's not
indoor
perfect.
outdoor
It is.
because it's not
It is
too
wholly imperfect.
hot. I
So
disagree.
If you go to the library at closing time, you'll see a certain kind of guy, beard, tote bag, lingering. Because if you get in like a minute before they close, you can go through the lost and found and take whatever you want. They have one this has been here for 2 weeks. Get 6 cardigans. You know what I'm saying?
It's actually not a bad idea.
And do you glare at the cars when you cross the road when you leave the library?
I'm just thinking about this now. I'll bet if you were regular at the library and you kind of had an eye on the lost and found box and you saw something sitting in there for a couple weeks, say, hey, no one's coming for this. Do you mind if I,
So the Newton Free Library, what I like the most is you'll stop at the crosswalk by there, and the woman that doesn't dye her hair will glare at your car menacingly, even though you've stopped. They don't like that you're there. Is the problem. So yesterday I was at the dog park, and my dog, of course, the lady with the balls that doesn't want your dog playing with her dog.
Was she there again?
She was there
Oh,
again, and I
jeez.
was there with my daughter, so she was nicer. But my dog, of course, picked up. She had 2 balls, and my dog, of course, picked
We don't
up
want
one,
to share.
and she didn't want to share, and she wanted my dog. She needed the ball back immediately, and my dog wouldn't give it back.
What kind of ball?
Some garbage ball,
Like a tennis ball, or
yeah, like she bought like the tennis ball from PetSmart.
Oh,
with this dumb thing that she wasn't throwing it.
It
She
looks
had
like
to save her
high
arm.
lie. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, you go. Why was that invented? And why don't you just throw it?
It's a great way to go through life, by the way. Only being nice when children are around. That's a nice.
So
that's a
my
nice
daughter was
outlook to
there,
have.
but Deuce is acting weird, and he won't go up the stairs, and he won't drop the ball. So I had to leave the park, and he didn't like that, so he dropped the ball when I left the park. I left the gate, and I closed the gate, and he dropped the ball, and he did not like that.
Scout's buddy Cosmo won't play with toys, but now Cosmo's parents buy toys for Scout when she comes over to play.
No.
And they recently picked up what looks like a kettlebell. So it's got the handle on top that she can pick up in her mouth, and it's kind of heavy. She did not know what to do with that thing because she sees like the ball, and dogs just like if it's a tennis ball or doesn't matter. But she could kind of tell the handle was there for a reason. So we're still figuring that one out.
Isn't it fun to just get in their heads?
It is.
Ask
So
mine
smart.
why he won't sit down. That's a problem. I really got a broken one.
Fred yelled at his dog. We were on a Zoom call yesterday. Like first meeting with this client that we're really excited about, and you'll be hearing more from them in the near future. But the first time Fred has an opportunity to speak, and the floor is kind of opened up to, talk a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
us. Fred immediately goes, "Hold on a second. This goddamn dog, stop it!"
Really?
It goes half out of frame.
I don't see Fred
Because
doing that
he's
at all.
It got a big laugh.
Not the Fred Toucher I know.
It got a big laugh. It got a laugh from everyone. Everyone enjoyed it.
We're all
It added a little
very
merriment.
uncomfortable.
Oh, get out of here! The tone was set with swearing. Swearing was on the deck.
It was on the
just guys kicking it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Saying that was not out of line. Don't let him fool you.
Email here from Matt Hardy. Can you ask Fred how the boss would have reacted to the golden banana proposal?
Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Oh.
They want to sponsor the Golden Eggnog Hour on Zolak and Bertrand. They called
Who'd they
yesterday.
call?
We played the call. They called. They were on the air with
thank
Zolak
God.
and Bertrand.
Yeah, give them 411. They got all the information. Leave me out of this.
Well, they
thing.
want to call you and talk to you about setting up a sponsorship.
Well, I don't know the rules, and I don't want to. You keep them at arm's length. Do they wear pasties?
Can they send you an email?
Well, yeah, they can send it to EATMYA, and you know the rest. At getoutahereandleavemealone.com.
I'm so happy. Who's the emailer?
It's Matt.
Matt, bless you. That's great.
Brand new life around the bend.
I got a question for Adam 12 here.
Yes.
Gentlemen, please ask Adam 12 if you snuck into the Interpol show earlier this week to see Cave-In.
I wish I had been able to make it. I was unable, but that's a big bill for me. I love both of those bands very much. Seen them live quite a few times, and from what I saw, it was quite the show.
I know the next question.
Also, I got to look at the Interpol drummer. I would love to hear Freddie T's story about pretending to be him.
I was in Kansas City at a strip club, and Interpol was on the theater next to the strip club. They had the thing that said Interpol, and the girl was dancing, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm in Interpol." And she's like, "What?" The drummer. And she was like, "Oh my God, really?" And she didn't know anything about Interpol. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the drummer at Interpol." And she just like danced. I got free dances. I didn't like hook up with her or anything, but it was just I didn't take advantage of the situation. But that would have been under false pretenses.
It would have been
Daddy, don't play that.
Revenge of the Nerds situation.
Exactly. I didn't want to get a woman under false pretenses. But it was fun, and I got a lot of attention, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh.
So that's a little suggestion if you're in your 20s. Just say you're the drummer of a band.
Right.
And you'll go from there.
Somewhat obscure that you wouldn't. Yeah, it'd be difficult to prove otherwise.
It would be like if someone said, "What's your name?" and I was like, "Cat Calendar Lamp." Like if you were at an old lady's house, you're just saying things that you see. She's like, "What are you?" And I just seen Interpol. I'm like the drummer.
See,
Interpol.
I could say I'm the drummer in the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and I could actually pull that off.
Jonathan looks exactly like the drummer from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. He's like a larger version of the drummer of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Just don't say you're in the Descendants.
I did that in Hilton Head, and I did hook up with girls under that pretense, and I was so dumb. And I said I was Stephen Egerton, and the girl goes, and then I found the one Descendants fan, and she goes, "It's Stephen Egerton, dum dum." And she's like, "That's not even his name," and I'm like, "Whoopsies." She's like, "He's bald, completely bald," and I'm like, "Oops."
Oh no,
that's not good.
So good.
I had such good self-esteem. I had to make up everything about myself, even on vacation. I just made up stuff. I had to make up things about myself where I was afraid people wouldn't like me, and I was right. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Pavel Zacha's sixth goal of the season came at 2:15 of overtime and handed the Bruins a 3-2 win over Detroit at TD Garden last night. They're in Chicago this evening. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers.
may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Is elongating.
Weekday mornings.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
62 stack Martin. 62 stack Martin.
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, The Stack is brought to you by D'Angelo. Grilled sandwiches have lunch with a legend this week. D'Angelo's legendary number 9 sandwich, grilled sirloin or chicken smothered in onions, peppers, mushrooms, and American cheese only at D'Angelo. And we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. All right, Hardy, what do you got for us today?
Well, Wallach's been talking about it in the headlines. News broke yesterday. Aroldis Chapman and the Red Sox in agreement on a 1-year, $10.75 million contract pending the physical. This is in contrast to what could have been, when was it? The first time they were in talks about Chapman?
2015. Yeah, about 9 years ago. And then in the process of, they had a trade basically done with Cincinnati to get him. And then they stumbled across his domestic violence problems and stopped.
Which I was unaware of until yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was bad.
Well, it obviously, was he out of the league ever?
I don't know if he was suspended. I think he take it back. He was suspended under the newly instituted domestic violence policy, but the Yankees still acquired him after that.
Well, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And Aroldis Chapman is a huge lefty, who throws very hard, which is exciting, but he's also old.
And he also, when he gets hit hard. And last year, he wasn't the closer, wasn't full-time closer for them.
For Cincinnati.
For Pittsburgh.
No, Pittsburgh, rather.
Yeah.
NL Central.
But, yes, he was in Pittsburgh last year, saved 14 games, but his ERA was close to 4, and the Sox are still paying him $11 million. So that tells me that he's going to get the first chance at being the closer when they head to spring training.
So it's a downgrade in your closer, basically.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's an experienced left-handed pitcher. According to Milliken and others on the midday show yesterday, he can still throw 98. No, it's not the 103 he used to throw. He can still throw 98, but he gets hit more often.
I mean, he's a gigantic human.
Yes.
It's he's a real specimen.
But he throws hard, something not a lot of relievers on this staff did last year.
And he's also going to maintain that velocity because my point is he's so huge that he's going to maintain that velocity. Like he has the build to maintain it.
Yeah, the graphs on what he did in the last season and what he's done, I mean, I understand maybe half of this stuff.
See, I looked at it too, and I'm like, I get this, and this, but I don't get the green stuff over here.
Yeah, I get barrel percentage, I get whiff percentage, but some of this other, the off-speed run value.
Okay, here's all. If you think that this is what people do in the front offices, I'll tell you again the story of the situation with. It wasn't Torrey. Who was the manager when I guess it was Torrey. Was it Torrey and Righetti? Righetti was the pitching coach?
It might even have been before Torrey.
But I think it was Torrey. Yeah, I think it was Torrey. So if you think that there's all these math and they're crunching numbers and they're all sharing it, Cashman didn't want the relievers or the pitchers throwing more than 20 warm-up pitches on a certain off day. So he told Torrey and Righetti that, and he believed that they weren't obeying him, which they weren't. They were not following that throwing plan at all. And they wrecked one of their prospects doing so, one of their big pitching prospects who still resents them. And so Cashman installed cameras into the bullpen and saw that Righetti was completely ignoring his pitch count thing and then reprimanded them. And that ultimately, they say, helped land to the demise of those two with the Yankees organization. So every time a fan pulls up some intricate thing, and I know that the Major League Baseball has access to all of them, Cashman had to install cameras to make sure that his pitching coach wasn't overextending his pitchers with their warm-ups and their off-day throwing routine. Doesn't that kind of throw everything in the face of that the manager is poring over all this information?
But now,
that's nonsense.
But now you have kind of a symbiotic relationship. Managers don't get hired unless their way of thinking links up with what the organization does.
But
you hire an old-school guy like
the
Torrey.
Managing decisions are so there's no way that 162 times in 8-9 months out of the year, they're pouring over that stuff every day.
I'm like you, and because we're older baseball fans, I think we're in a
It's
a
not
select
age.
group.
It's not age. No,
just a
it's
different-
propensity for what you enjoy, and if you enjoy puzzles and math and statistics,
But I wasn't heading in that direction.
Okay.
My point was we see baseball as a field type of game.
Right.
It has evolved into something different for a whole generation of
well,
executives and managers.
Got news for you. It's not gonna. It's not going to be this way because they're not going to be able to sustain pitching. The idea that you have to hit a certain amount of velocity to be a pitcher, and you only have to throw to 3 batters is ruining everyone's arm. And so there's this card out now that everyone's this Paul Skeens card that's in this Topps Chrome Select box, and it's worth now well over $1 million. It hasn't been found. The Topps Chrome boxes are now going for $600. My son, everyone's like obsessed with this Paul Skeens card. The Pirates have some offer apparently that if you give it to them, they'll give you something that's not at all compensation for what it's worth. He told me like you
They'll
could
give you
sit in the
tickets.
box with Livy Dunn. Like his girlfriend, and it's like, whoa,
so
$1 million? Like, here's $1 million. Like I could do, like, you could give me Livy Dunn, and I wouldn't give you $1 million. Like, like, who wants that?
Yeah.
But Paul Skeens could throw his arm out tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then that card's worth nothing. Just this maximum velocity. He's a big kid, so probably not. But these maximum velocity thing, I'd be very concerned if I was putting all my eggs into one pitcher's basket. That's
All right,
for sure.
sticking with baseball, the Red Sox, the Juan Soto bidding has reached a $600 million floor. So that is now that's the get-in price just to be in the conversation. Red Sox still one of 4 teams considered to be in the
Depends on how you
conversation.
feel about Toronto.
Well, yeah, Toronto, but it's
was-
Mets, Yankees, Sox, Dodgers, and Toronto is the one that I guess is
They're the mystery team. They're the silent assassins.
Yeah.
Well, remember Toronto thought they had Ohtani.
Yes,
And that's
I do
why
remember that.
they were screwed last year, is because they thought they had him, so they didn't do anything else in free agency because they thought they were going to give that amount of money to Ohtani, and then when he went ultimately to LA, they were screwed, and so they were sitting there. So they definitely want to pay someone, and they want a star. It's that communications company. We went over it last year. Whoever is Rodgers, whoever's affiliated, is trying to get business overseas and things like that.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a superstar.
Apparently, just one quick thing.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, at the beginning of this process, was apparently very, very interested, and they are thought to be the mystery team involved.
Yeah.
It might be one more than this group
Right.
of 5.
So it's a group of 5 and maybe 6, and then other team doesn't stand a chance, which is just great for baseball. Again, if you root for any other team besides these 5 teams, you're in Toronto. Who knew? But like these 5 teams, your team basically has a 2-year window to win every 20 years. Like when you hit on every prospect and you can like trade for a guy at the deadline, you're like a Baltimore. You're that kind of situation. And if you don't win, you're screwed. Baltimore gets blown out in the first round, and now their window is a season shorter. They're not going to be able to pay any of those guys. They might pay 1.
Could have an answer on it pretty soon, too. They're saying it might even happen before the start of the winter meetings on
It'll happen
Sunday.
at 10 a.m. on
10 a.m.
Friday.
Monday morning.
10 a.m. on Friday.
Yeah.
And so it will be 3 days old by the time it gets to us. I believe the Red Sox are in on it, and I hope they get them. For anything else, is to shut up everyone with the complaining. The Red Sox complaining is.
I hold the right to keep complaining. They're not going to get him. I'm not worried.
I feel real bad for you. Such a struggling organization.
The last 5 years.
The idea that they're in on Soto is all you need to know.
They've chosen
and this
not
is
to
no
spend.
big city, by the way. This isn't that much bigger a city